Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to the Reds family out there. Welcome back to Liverpool 12-Man Show. Today we've got another packed episode as always, controversy, analysis, maybe a few fireworks as I just got done with some, it was contentious, but it was certainly something that is a part of what we all tune in for, and that is for riveting debate, very, very passionate debate. So we all have opinions, and that's what we are utilizing these platforms for. So like having a good conversation with some Reds that might not agree with my opinion, but or vice versa, but all the same, all well and good. We're going to talk about the shock omission of Federico Chiesa from our Champions League squad. We're going to talk about Alexander Isak's debut watch. We're going to also talk about Dom's Thunderbolt goal against Arsenal. The Premier League Supercomputer's got predictions out, and I wanted to talk about that. They have us, who they have as the title predictions is very interesting. And finally, we're going to comment on a little bit something, again, it's part of why we tune into a lot of these things, and that is because of the chaos. And Captain Chaos may not be on this team any longer, but we still have some chaos being generated from some of our rivals and some of the neutrals. We're going to talk a little bit about something I saw True Geordie bring up as well as he tries to stir the pot that is Isak. So strap in, my Reds. It's going to be one of those shows that I'm sure is going to get some people heated and some people probably a little bit detrimental about what is going on. But I am here for it. I am here for it today. I probably came in a little bit hot, only not primarily because of like some of the comments that were being said, but I've already dealt with some rival, being in the chat for some of the rival channels and dealing with some of the pushback I've gotten by trying to voice my opinions on certain subjects. So I am definitely there. I am definitely in that mindset right now. So hopefully it'll be an enjoyable one for all, and hopefully you'll comment and include yourself in the conversation. Shout out to Adam, shout out to CJ, shout out to Red Armchair Supporter. Big up to AR, by the way. I saw him earlier on the Irishman channel. Shout out to Bonkers as well. See whatever about Connor. I'm playing for Northern Ireland now, so he could be ready for the Burnley game. Yeah, could be. I'm hoping he is. We could use his we could use his services either as a starter or even coming off the bench would be ideal at this moment, because we could certainly utilize having Dominik go forward a little bit more than he is being utilized as a right back. But that's another conversation. So let's just dive right into it. Because I know yesterday the question about Chiesa being left out of the lineup was something that was posed. And the fact that the lineups had been released was important. So I definitely wanted to get into those topics. Shout out to those that remember me saying so. But Chiesa being left out of, I tried to explain yesterday why Chiesa was being left out. It was not an easy explanation, by the way, too, because Rio is under. He's certainly an homegrown English player, but he's under a certain age. He hasn't played a certain amount of time in the English program, so he doesn't qualify for certain reasons for this or for that for UEFA. A lot of different scenarios of why it didn't happen, but I'll try my best to recover and revisit some of the stuff that I was speaking on. So as I said, I promised I would research and do a deeper dive, and this is just that, my deeper dive. Liverpool confirmed the 22-man list, A squad, basically. short of the full 25 available, with the main absentee being Federico Chiesa. I bring in Lee. Big up Lee, by the way. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
Like,
What's say? What were you going to say?
no, I was going to say, I'll let you carry on with that.
Oh yeah, it's just a quick. I'm just going to quickly go into it. But I was saying, people ask why why Chiesa wasn't a part of it, and it's because UEFA's regulations require a minimum of 8 homegrown players, and we've lost a lot of that quota this summer. You look at it: Trent's gone, Kwanzaa's gone, Morton's not there, Elliott's not there, Kelleher's not there. That's 5 homegrown players that we've now seen exit the team. So, so that might be a shot for Wharton, by the way. But all the same, those 5 players are no longer part of the team. So that's why we have a deficit in homegrown players. That means only 17 non-homegrown players could be listed. And Chiesa, despite his talent and impact, in my opinion, I thought that he should be a player that is on that team, was the odd man out. Rio did get included, but he couldn't be on list B. So he made the cut. He couldn't be on the list B. He had to be on list A. So they chose to include him on list A so that they could at least include him. And if Mark Gahey's deal had gone through, we might have seen Giovanni Leone be left off that list. But because Gahey isn't on the team, or because we didn't get that transfer through, Leone is a part of that A squad or list A. Again, some of these things, they're very interesting. Some of the, how we're going to bring all these players in. When you bring in players, we got to let go players. But as for problem, we're stacked with world-class imports, but our homegrown quota is somewhat fragile. UEFA's rule forced our hand to for Chiesa not to be part of it. It wasn't about performance; it was about paperwork. Dragon Wolf. I'm not saying that Gahey isn't homegrown. He's certainly homegrown. He plays for England. But what is the issue, or what would have been the issue, is his spot might have. If we had Gahey, we would have possibly had to have excluded Leone from that list. Not saying that it's dire that we have Leone in the list, but we had to make some tough decisions, and Chiesa was the odd man out, as I'm trying to speak.
Yeah, he's a casualty. I mean, it has thinned out a little bit, the homegrown quota, hasn't it? With the Kelleher, Trent, and a couple of other squad players like Morton going, Doak as well. If all them had been, mind you, Doak doesn't count, does he? I don't think, in the same way Robbo doesn't count. But anyway, yeah, it's meant Federico. I'm calling him his dad's name. Federico was missed out, but I'm sorry for him, because I would have liked to have seen him, being able to have had some minutes in the Champions League. But this is just the way it is, isn't it? We've got to accept it.
Yeah. This is the entire list for you. Some of them got cut off, so I will include that. The others: Isak, Salah, Cody. Got to understand that we do have Isak now, so his name was definitely going to be added to that list. Isak, Salah, Cody, Ekitike, and Rio are complete out that list. At 9 p.m. sharp. Yes, it is. It will be. Alfred will be serving tea at 9 p.m. sharp. So be ready. I don't know if you take your tea with if you like Olay or milk in your it'll be cafe au lait, or milk in your tea, or if you take it with sugar. But anyhow, Ali, Normadashvili, Woodman, Gomez, Endo, Van Dijk, Konate, Kirkes, Bradley, Leone, Robertson, Frimpong, Burtz, Szoboszlai, Maka, Jones, and Gravenberch make up the list of players. I'm going to separate this into their positions too, just to get an idea. get an idea of like what we're looking at on this list A of players. Did you think that it was harsh to see him out, by the way?
Harsh. Well, it's just reality, isn't it? I mean, what else could we have done? We've thought about what other way we could have done it, really, and there isn't one. It just came down to that, didn't it? Came down to a straight choice between him and Rio, I think. So, Here we go. That's it. It's up to people at home, like, at home, speaking like that. Up to everybody, themselves to say, would I have done it differently? I don't think I would have. I would have picked Rio over Chiesa because Rio's more the future. I'm not saying Chiesa hasn't got a role to play still, but I'd say Rio's more the future. So they've done right to include him.
Okay. Appreciate that, Redbird. Thank you. Our goal is 50 likes every episode. So I appreciate it. If you can't stay, I understand. People have things to do sometimes. People have daytime jobs, or nighttime jobs, or they have other obligations. And I appreciate the fact that you even stopped by to say hello and hit the like button. I appreciate that immensely, Redbird. Take care. Big up Pops. Definitely. If Pops, I know Pops is a working man, so he might be busy at work or unable. But there are some things. If Pops is free, tell me if you're free, Pops, because there are some things that we were just discussing, and I saw some of your comments in the chat. I would love to hear you elaborate on some of your points from my earlier conversation. But I would love to hear it. Earlier conversation, that is, being on the okay, cool. Let me get you the link. Hold on one second. Because I would like to hear it. I know Pops is not only a man of reason, he is certainly someone that likes to be trying to think of it. That is a soother. How about that? He's able to not necessarily stir the pot or make chaos or make anything uneasy. He is Mark. He's certainly a celebrity. So there you go. Okay, I send it to you, Pops. I do have that as something we're going to talk about when we do about. We're going to talk about leaving. We're going to definitely talk about that towards the end of the show. I wanted to get in as much talk about the Reds before we talk about other teams.
It's actually a shock, that, though. Like, I was shocked when Chiesa was left out because I didn't know there was a problem as far as how many people we could have in the squad. But same again with Levy. I'm shocked that he's leaving.
Yeah,
never had any inkling of that.
I wanted to talk about something. Big up John Conway in the house. Big up John Conway. Oh, get out! Is it your birthday, John?
Happy birthday, John. Ooh,
happy birthday. Let's see if I can put something together for you. Let me see if I can put something together for you. All right, let's see if I can do something. I'm gonna try to build up a graphic in the background for you. I still got to work on that. But big up John Conway, big up 12th fan and Lee and Pops. Today is John Conway's birthday. Definitely happy birthday. What I was going to say also is his birthday is right after Rasta Crab's birthday. So I'm gonna try to put something together. I'm decent at Photoshop, so I'm trying to put something together in the background for you. but we'll see. Hopefully it's good. We'll see, John. Hopefully you like it. I thought Crab liked this. I think Crab's the one I made for Roster Crab yesterday was like enjoyable that he could his kids would get a kick out of it. But yeah. There was something that I was transitioning to. Oh, what I was going to transition to real quick, because I'll hold off on the conversation about the number 6 thing in a second. The pivot discussion, as it was being called earlier. I wanted to bring up something that we spoke on yesterday, and this is Isak's debut. Alexander Isak was asked this question, by the way. He was asked when he thought was a date. What was the date he's shooting for to get his debut? Okay. And as I said about our new number 9, Alexander the Great. We all know we spent 125 million pounds for the Swede. But the question is, when will be his debut? And Isak admitted he's aiming for Burnley on September 14th. That's what he's aiming for. Now, I know some of you are saying, oh, well, what he's aiming for and what is actual reality are two different things maybe. Some might even say, oh, well, he's saying debut, but that might be as like, it's not as a starter. It'll be as his actual just getting onto the pitch. Fantastic. And I could see that happening considering that Ekitike, our coach has tended to substitute Ekitike off the pitch in pretty much every game he's been in. Ekitike has not had a full 90-minute run so far. But that's what at least he's aiming for is to go for that. Is to go for Burnley as being his debut. Now, I know Atletico Madrid at Anfield in the Champions League opener, or maybe a home debut against Everton in the derby, could be a possibility. Could be a strong possibility. Excitement is real. I get that. Look, if this player has scored 62 goals in 109 games for Newcastle, hit a cup final strike at Wembley against us that most of us want to forget. And now he's our record signing. But this has been a dramatic move that ended badly for Newcastle fans. But their farewell statement was icy cold, and Isak himself has admitted to mixed emotions. He's admitted to relief. He's admitted to pride for his time at Newcastle, but also knowing he's burned bridges. And that's something that he knows already. He understands the fact of how he did it wasn't exactly the most ideal way to get his move away from the team. But all the same, here we are with the new number 9, a player that would possibly be taking the spot, either taking the spot or playing alongside a player that is in form. When do you think we'll see a debut? I'm not asking for a start. You can tell me if you want to tell me when you think he'll start, but I'm asking for the debut. When do you see, when's the first game we'll actually get our chance to see our first introduction to Isak as a Red on the pitch?
Probably the Madrid game after the Burnley game, and it's in between the Burnley and the Everton game, isn't it? Atletico at home. I'd like to think that he'd be fit enough to start then. I'd stick with Hugo for now because he scored 3 and 4, and he's looked dangerous, So yeah, I would say the Madrid game.
Okay. That's the debut, right? Not the start.
No, I'd say the start. Yeah, I'm hoping he's fit enough to start by that game, but it might take him longer. I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared to wait as long as it takes, really. So he's right when he comes in. But Hopefully it's sooner rather than later, yeah.
Okay. Hoping that too, right away. Definitely hoping that as well. I'm with Pops on this one, to be honest with you. Let me make sure. This one's for you, John. Big up, big up. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully that's good. Big up, big up. Happy birthday, John Conway. Definitely. Again, I'm decent at Photoshop. I was just trying to make it quick and good. I still got to make it. I got to make a proper one. But hopefully that's good. I don't know if John's with us right now or not, but hopefully John sees that. Hopefully John sees it. Oh, he did. Good, cool. Big up, John Conway. I also what were we just speaking of? Sorry, I just got. It's usually when I'm trying to do 3-4 different things, I get tracked. But so you think? Oh, that's what I was asking you. The debut. So you think debut is going to be the Atletico Madrid game? I'm with Pops though. I think we're going to see, especially with an international break in between. I think we will see a debut from him in Burnley game. I think we'll see 15 minutes out of him, or 15, 20 minutes out of him in the Burnley game.
That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Be a good way to start. Late sub appearance. Obviously, he'd be training with the players as well, with his new teammates when he comes back. Yeah, I'm sure he's ready. He's ready to do it mentally. Just getting himself right physically after having no pre-season and having missing the first 3 games.
Yeah, CJ's got him at 4 minutes versus Burnley. Okay, all right. That's a brief. That's certainly an introduction. CJ also says starter at right back. There you go. Yeah, I know he's kidding around with that one. Pop said off the bench at Burnley was his choice. So that was investing 20 minutes. I did see that. Hi, Laura. I have actually a episode that I'm going to do simply on our youth academy on the youth academy and the youth academy facility and academy and the players and such. I had that coming up over the international break. So I will bring that up for sure in that episode. Big up goal ratio. Big up. Hyler hopes that there's cake at John Conway's birthday party. Don't we all? Trudon thinks he'll start versus Atletico. Okay. CJ would start him truthfully against Palace. Okay. I'm just saying debut. I'm not saying necessarily the start. I know we spoke on the start yesterday. I know that there are a couple of games in our schedule that are difficult ones to really get him. Maybe start him in the League Cup game against Southampton would probably be my choice. I'm just thinking off the cuff right now. I would probably do something like that. That way you're starting them in a game that, starting him in a game that we should be able to not only win and control, but also starting him it's a home game. So that's also a plus as well against Southampton. But let's see, anyone else saying anything? Not past judgment until any of the, okay, all right. Okay, that's all. But yeah, this is a question of like where you would start him, because like the question is, would you rather see him debut against Burnley to get some sharpness, or would you rather save him for the Atletico game like you just spoke on, or maybe the Everton game, which would be the first Premier League game after, I think. I'd have to look at the schedule.
It is, yeah. It's Everton. It's 12:30 kickoff as well when we play Everton after Atletico Madrid. So it's a testing week Burnley away won't be easy. Hopefully we can surmount that obstacle. But then we've got Atletico Madrid, who are a stubborn bastard team to play, and Everton, who are a stubborn bastard team to play, especially under Moyes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big question. I did bring up yesterday. Let me bring up something from yesterday too, as well. Burnley is when John Conway would look for his debut. Yeah, I think the Burnley game is most likely going to be the game. Yesterday, I did a little bit of an op-ed introduction to the show. I know that my panel loves it when I get on my soapbox, but this is the statement, and this is what was the controversy that was that triggered not only my response but also made me proud of our Egyptian king. Just another reason why it made me proud of our Egyptian king, I should say, because I think he's a phenomenal role model and a good human being in general.
Did Mo put that graphic up, did he say, in there, name a bigger upgrade in footballing history? Was it Mo himself who done that?
So this is how...
joking. I'm joking.
Oh, you're joking? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the graphic at the top, Darwin and Luis Diaz going out like the upgrade.
Well, that was the Anfield edition that's what they wrote. They wrote a name. It had... You can see it has Lucho and Darwin grayed out, and then you have the replacements to their kit numbers being Wirtz as number 7 and Isak as the number 9. It says, name a bigger upgrade in footballing history. I don't think it's as much as I'm going to say that I think that Wirtz and Isak are phenomenal players. What it was about this comment that really got me in a little bit of a hissy, and got obviously Mohamed Salah angry enough to tweet something where he went and says, how about we celebrate the great signings without disrespecting the Premier League champions? Because he's not saying he's not optimistic about the future. He's not saying that he's hopeful and he's excited about the future. It's not saying that he doesn't think that these players have immense talent. Okay, being Wirtz and Isak. But what he is saying is that he respects what Lucho and Darwin have done for our club. And like the way that this statement and the way that this graphic and everything is drawn out, it is a knock against two players that he highly rates. Everyone else has their own interpretation of whether Lucho was a good enough player for them, or if he's a world-class player, or if he's just an okay player, if he's a squad player, whatever. Same for Darwin. Okay. But you can't take away the fact that they're Premier League champions. You can't.
Yeah, Diaz in particular last season, Darwin didn't play as much, but Diaz was crucial to Slot last season, wasn't he, in getting that title?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's worked out really well, hasn't it, that we were able to get the title and then have a summer like this, and we're just waiting now, aren't we, for it all to click when we get our best 11 out there and have them play regularly. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm. I just think that it's notable that Mo Salah didn't have to do this. These players no longer play for this team, so it's not like there's times when I've heard, like, as in Mo Salah has come to the defense of Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's come to the defense of Darwin before, when Darwin's gotten some really vile criticism, but also some really bad takes, I think, personally, about the players' contributions. And he's come out before while they played for our team, but he's also obviously coming out even after they've left the team. And that's the reason why I was very happy to see Mohamed Salah step up and make and say what he said. I totally agree with what he has to say. There's players that have played for our teams that obviously don't necessarily need for us to do some wax lyrical or pretend as though they made contributions that they didn't. But for some of these players that have left our team, they've been integral parts of our club. And the whole notion of you'll never walk alone and, you'll always be a Red. It should mean something to us culturally, I think, personally. And that's why I made a point about it. But that's what it is. That's what it is. So I just wanted to share with you the comment that he made. I know I spoke on it at length yesterday, and I just want to make sure that this is the context of what he said and why he said it. And I just wanted to bring that out to you. Big up AR, big up. Big up to Adam, by the way, joining the chat. Join the chat, definitely. See if anyone wants something. Big up to Mark, both Mark A and Mark Simons. Big up to you both. Big up to Hylor. I wanted to do a quick little rating session about our game against Arsenal, because I heard some of the Arsenal punditry or Arsenal content creators out there, your Dan Potz's and your Gals and the likes, basically think that, or your Robbie's from AFTV. I'm not going to go as far as to say your ties, but if you want that, you can say that too. That said that we were lucky to win this game and that they were in control of this game from start to finish. That players on this pitch, players for our team, absolutely got done in, is what their wording was, in a sense that Ekitike was put into a pocket. Who else was Verts was a non-factor. Cody wasn't anything to write home about. So many different players. So Mohamed Salah was a pedestrian in this game, or a bystander, something along those lines. But I thought that it was a match that wasn't exactly much must-see TV by a lot of the performances on the pitch, but it ended up Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Tight game, tactical chess, neither side really dominating, in my opinion. And then, boom. Dominik Szoboszlai with a free kick from 35 yards out. Will be certainly goal of the season contender, early goal of the season contender, certainly goal of the month. And 3 points in the bag for our Reds. We sit atop the table alone. Okay, all right. Yeah, Dara, a lucky goal. It was a lucky goal, apparently, that Dominik Szoboszlai, despite the fact that apparently, I didn't get to see his Hungary game, but apparently Dominik Szoboszlai scored a very similar free kick for Hungary already, apparently, or something like that, I think. I think that's at least that's what they were speaking on earlier. I think they had their game last night or something. But yeah, I definitely want to do a quick rating session, and also get some takeaways and see what you felt about the game. See what you thought was. See if you agree with them. See if you agree with a lot of the Arsenal fandom that basically think that we were lucky to get a 1-0 win. We were lucky to get. There was a lucky shot by Dom. They should have had a result from this. Some were even going as far as, I ask you this, and I think that it was more so, and this is what I really do think. Some people have said that Arteta went into this match wanting a draw, playing for a draw instead of playing for a win. He rolled the dice on keeping Saliba in, even though Saliba rolled his ankle in the warm-up. He still rolled the dice on playing Saliba in the game, taking away obviously a later substitute that he could have possibly used, but also taking a substitute off the books for him, and having to substitute out early in the game Saliba, one of their best defenders. And the player that came on for them did do a decent job, by the way, played well. But do you agree with that, Lee? Do you think that Arteta set up this game to be more defensive than he did to actually try to go toe to toe with us? Because we've seen some outright, crazy games, 5-5, and like goals, sometimes having goal tallies of 4, 5, 6 goals in a game. Do you agree that he said that Arteta went in with the wrong scheme for this game by going defensively, or do you not see what he did as being defensive?
Yeah, I expected him to do it, and he got his arse wiped by that free kick, which was magnificent, but we can't, depend on that happening all the time. They have been a real bitch for us to beat it for a while, haven't they, Arsenal? You can't deny that.
For the Big Six, they've been a pain in the butt, actually.
Yeah, and they achieved that. Yeah, they achieved that a certain way. The games between them and City, same deal as well a lot of the time. But anyway, as I said, the free kick wiped his arse for him and put his plans, sunk his plans on him. But yeah, I think he did go. He's got good players, He's just brought Zubimendi in, as midfield orchestrator, and he's playing like that in a big game. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more ambition from him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Their fans countered by saying Liverpool showed no ambition, but I mean, how much ambition could we show the way they were playing?
Yeah, I don't understand why they think that we didn't show real ambition. Do you think this game would have been different? Do you think this game would have been different if they started Eze?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't think so, because we were very good. We were very good at the back the other day. Well, last week now, 5 days ago. We were excellent at the back and resisted everything they tried.
Do you agree with the Schmeichel point as well, by the way?
Yeah, Schmeichel. God bless Schmeichel for coming out and saying that, what everyone else was thinking. Yeah. Of all people, Schmeichel has never said a kind word about us in history, 12th. Schmeichel has never said a kind word about us in history until that moment. And it sort of it validated what we all thought about the way Arteta goes about business. He's a boring coach, mate. He is. He's a bore.
Big up, Pops is in the house. Big up, by the way.
Hi,
Big up. Can you hear me? What's up, Lee? You good?
Yeah, good, mate.
Loud and clear.
Cool.
Did you see? What did you think about the Schmeichel comment?
Schmeichel. Oh, that's funny. It was funny. He sounded like a City man more than a United man. I'd have to say that.
I'm surprised he even said it, because he normally does not have any real praise. Like, he said he was rooting for Liverpool to win.
It was more of a backhanded compliment, if you want.
Circumstances, that, doesn't it? which tells its own story.
Yeah. More of a backhanded compliment, you think? That what you're saying?
Yeah, because he was taking a swipe at Arteta more so than praising us, to be honest. But he's right. In my mind, I'm saying
right.
if you look at it, it's 3 games into the season. For me, this is just me, honestly. Who cares? Come to Anfield and have a go. Because if you beat us, the psychological impact of the victory to me is more to gain than in the loss. Come to Anfield, play your football, win that game, leave. You're the team with 3 wins, 9 points. You just beat the champions, and everyone's looking at you and saying, Jesus, no Saka. The list will then be, okay, there was no Saka, there was no Odegaard, Saliba went off early, and they just beat the champions in their own backyard, playing their own style of football. Well done. Arsenal are the team you definitely have to look out for. Yeah, it's only 3 games in, but that's a statement to me. And it's a gamble where you can say, if we go and lose, you can say, you know what, it's 3 games in. Who cares? City's lost 2 games in their first 3 games, and no one is saying, well, not me anyhow. But in my mind, I'm not saying, yeah, City's done for the season. It's 3 games in. You've got so many more to make up the difference, the gap, whatever you want to call it. It was a throwaway game from their perspective because they're coming to us, knowing that we have to come to them at the business end of the season. Gamble, roll the dice and see what you can do. You're not going to get hammered if you play with an actual 10. So let's just say you insert Esse or Wanieri into the 10 spot instead of Odegaard rather than playing Marino. All of a sudden, you're playing your style of football and not 7 men behind the ball and people saying, well, you were too defensive and whatever. Because that's really what it is. It's just people having their view of it as being ultra defensive. I thought it was a rubbish game for 2 of the teams that's supposed to be the best teams in England. It was very poor, quality-wise. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with Arsenal fans saying, well, I've never got a problem with them saying what they have to say because much of the time I don't listen. I tell you already, 12. For your own sanity, you need to disengage from some of this stuff. Because some of it is laughable, some of it is insane. And then some of it you said to yourself, you know what? Yeah, I can actually listen to him and he and I would have a conversation. He and I would be able to have a discussion. So you have to pick it.
Arsenal, the Arsenal channels out there are entertaining. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think in a way it's desperation from Arteta, isn't it? Like, I mean, is there any sympathy for him amongst our fans that he's so bereft of ideas? He has to go for winning games on set pieces and playing shit house football. I don't feel sorry for him.
I thought that, and honestly, I thought that he went into this game with the presence of thinking it's Anfield. I know I have Eze, but I don't want to take any chances since he's new to the team, in not being already, well conjoined with knowing how to play with his teammates. These players know what he wants. These players know what he expects, and I just think that he went with a more defensive-minded structure in the sense of the players that he put out there were more defensive than they were offensive, and then they went in with the same presence, thinking they went in with the same presence of what they went into Old Trafford for. And that is, they went into that. I think they went in against Manchester United thinking, oh, we're going into, they played they played the fixture. There's something that I was saying, me and Pops are going back and forth about a little bit about some of the venues. I'll admit that Old Trafford is not Turf Moor. I get that. But but they played the fact of they're going to Old Trafford more than they're going to play a team that was 15th and a team they should absolutely handle, despite them going to Old Trafford. And I think they played the occasion or played the environment more than they played the team. And I think that's what they did when they went up against us in the sense of we're a better team, certainly. But also he was thinking of a draw as being a win as opposed to going out and being like, no, we're going to just go out there and we're going to try to, hit you with our offensive offensive players, and I think that's what I think he got outmaneuvered with that. But do you think elsewise, Lee or Pops?
I'd like someone to interview him and say, Mikel, you're very dangerous on set pieces these days. Like, where's the rest of your game? Where's the rest of your game?
I really think that's what he thought. He was going to go to Anfield and win on the set piece.
He did it to United, didn't he? That's what he done to United.
That's exactly why I brought up that comparison. If maybe my analysis or my analogy might be.
I'm not saying he can't play. I'm just taking the piss out of them a bit. We got out of jail a little bit with that because it probably would have been a 0-0 had Dom not done that. And we can't expect that all the time. But apparently he scored a zinger for Holland against Turkey, but to the other post. So he's in fan fettle at the moment, Tom. And I think he's had free kick taken out. And where shots are concerned, he might not take all of them out wide. Some other players might take them sometimes from out wide. But for shots on goal, he's the man now, isn't he?
Yeah.
After Trent's departure.
Yeah. All right. I'll hold off on the ratings because I know Pops has already done his ratings for the players. I'll ask Pops this question since he was a part of the conversation before. Do you have an opinion on who would be yours? I'm going to ask you straight up, okay? Because I know I've been on your channel plenty of times when I try to give some some diplomatic answer. Sometimes I'm called out for doing so. I'm going to ask you for a direct answer. For the pivot, now I know you can explain your issue with the pivot too. By the way, because I know I did see you say you have an issue with the pivot, the connotation behind by the pivot. But for us, layman's out there, we play a 4-2-3-1. That 2 is the pivot in most people's minds. Normally, it's McAllister and Gravenberch tend to be the pivot. It's had some adaptations to it simply because of maybe injuries or maybe because of availability. But for the most part, we play McAllister and Gravenberch as the pivots, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
One, if you do find yourself in the same camp as someone that thinks that we need to upgrade on those players in those positions, or you are someone that thinks you're in that camp that thinks that there are better players possibly that could service those positions for us. Who are they? And who, in essence, would you replace that player with in our current starting lineup? And that's going funny. Maka and Gravenberch being the starters for our pivot.
I wanted to do let's go backwards on that discussion and say if we had bought Caicedo, I'm wondering what we'd be doing. Because Caicedo would have to start. Then we'd be saying, all right, who's next? Who's next to Caicedo? Who's next to Caicedo?
For Caicedo on the bench? No, right.
Yeah. But for me, the discussions are interesting because I've heard over the last couple of days, we
would have possibly gone for Gravenberch maybe too, by the way, if we'd done that maybe.
Nah, you see, that's where it's one of those. Does Gravenberch end up being his McAllister, or is it just back to Caicedo McAllister that we would have seen at Brighton saying, well, they know one another well. You slap the two of them together and you're off and running.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here's the problem that I have just generally, and because it's 3 games in. I'm not convinced that I've seen enough of what we're going to do or what we want to do to even make the suggestion that we need X or Y. Everybody that knows me and who's followed or listened to me knows that I love Baleba. And when I heard him linked with United, I said, no, go get him. Don't let that boy go to United and waste his career. Plus, he'd be good for them. I don't want anything good to happen to them. I don't want. And he would significantly make a change to them. Just him alone. Adding him, even the Joker Amarin, adding him to that team, they could move from 10th to 7th maybe. Because I think I picked them somewhere like 10th, 9th or whatever this season.
He is that.
Yeah. But it's the manager being able to play him because he's a joke. But because in Cunha and in Buemo, that's probably 30 goals that you're going to get in the season. That number of goals from those two, and if you can get Sesko a few, and you got a proper midfielder, easily they'll move up the table. Because they weren't, as much as they were 15th, they didn't score. I think they scored like 6 goals less than Villa, who were 6 or 7 for whatever it was. So as much as it looked really bad in the table, it really wasn't that bad as far as goals scored. So that's why I didn't want Baleba to go there. But obviously it's Baleba, it's Wharton, it's Stiller, whoever the sort of whatever style you like. I just like Baleba, and I'm not necessarily saying we have to get him, but just the link to United say, oh, get him quick, stop them from getting him. But I'm not convinced of the pivot, and we've got 2 additional problems to the pivot now. Is this Dom has suddenly become undroppable because a lot of people were saying, okay, good, Verts in, Dom out, that's it, done and dusted. We'll never see Szoboszlai again for some people, and they would be happy with that. And he's decided. Some people will be happy with that. He's decided, you know what? No,
I know.
I'm Liverpool's number 8, and I'm Dom Szoboszlai. I'm going to make myself useful. I'm going to make the lungs work for me. There you go. I'm going to make the lungs work for me. So I think, and I could be wrong, but Dom's kind of made himself undroppable. And you've bought a Verts, so you've already got a 10. Now you're trying to figure out, how do I get Dom into the team as well as everyone else? So it just so happened it was, we can slot him in at right back and we can still have our quote-unquote double pivot. I'm still unconvinced by the double pivot as well. Because in my mind, and then again, it's just in my head. This is my head. I'm not saying what it is or isn't. This is what I envisioned when you add Kirkes and you add Frimpong as a left and a right back. I said, okay, good. I close my eyes and I see them immediately as, all right, they're going to bomb up the pitch. In them bombing up the pitch, I see Gackers and Mo happy to invert. So now you've got room for them to get closer to goal, and you've got an additional threat in wing backs going beyond them to the byline and crossing the ball, where you actually have a number 9 now, a real striker, as well as possibly the 2 inverted, whatever you want to call them, wide forwards who are now coming on the inside, as well as possibly a number 10. So you got more box fillers for those to cross to. That's my vision of what it is. Now, if that's the vision, the pivot then is ensuring that I defend with 4, worst case 3, and not just 2, which is what we saw when Bournemouth did their counterattack on us. It was 2 versus 4, and then there were 3 of our men running behind that 4. If you can sort of picture the initial counterattack, it was just Vividi and Ibu. There were 4 Bournemouth players running at them, and then there were 3 of ours trying to chase back to get back on defense. The double pivot to me says I always have a box sort of in the middle of the pitch, and one of them can go between the 2, and the 2 can split and make it a 3-man, and then you're defending with a 4 all the time, or at a minimum of 3. I haven't seen that yet, and that's where, for me, my struggle is in terms of how do I determine what's best in the pivot if I'm not even seeing the pivot that I thought I would see? 1. 2, McAllister isn't fit. So even if you think Mac and Graver are individually the best 2 midfielders, and then they complement one another the best in the system, you haven't seen the best of them yet this season either. So for me, it's still...
You keep saying system. Are you saying, is there something dramatically different with this system that we're doing that you expect, or something you've seen that we're going to be doing different from the system last year, other than possibly obviously different players and how they can carry out the responsibilities, but it's still the same. It's still a very similar concept that they're trying to incorporate, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's also why it's confusing, because you got same script, different cast. So it's kind of weird to me where I can see Kirk as inverting. And I'm saying, well, that's not what he did at Bournemouth. He was the best left back in the league because he went on the outside. Why are we asking him to venture on the inside?
Right.
And then we didn't see enough of Frimpong either. But what I did see that I liked was he stayed on the outside, and him and Mo had a sort of 1-2 combination going on where he said, okay, good. I can actually see how Mo gets involved with him. He's gone. Szoboszlai comes in at right back. Mo just looks like an isolated figure wide on the right-hand side. And I'm saying, okay, Mo, what are you doing? What's the script here? Because I'm confused by what I'm seeing. So that's really my problem. I'm confused by what I'm seeing because I didn't expect it to be last season's sort of MO, if you wanted. And I'm also not seeing what I thought it would be. But it's only 3 games in. So I'm saying, okay, you know what? Rather than try to make it more confusing and say, oh, we should sell Gakpo or we should upgrade on Gakpo. Now, every player is upgradable if you want. But the window's closed and we've got our players. So it's interesting that we're already sort of looking at, let's sell him and buy someone else already. I said, Jesus, we just closed the window. Yeah, I know nothing's going on, but it's crazy that we're in that spot already. And that's just, again, that's for me. I'm happy to see what we have. Let's see what we have and let's see what we're gonna do. My eyes are all on Mr. Locke, to be honest. That's the truth. I'm looking at him and saying, what's you gonna do? Because you've got 100 million striker, you've got 100 million in 10, you've got the lungs in Dom, you've got the system in Grava for some people, you've got the best player in the midfield as Mac 10, you've got the CDM, as people like to say, for some people as the Gorgon, as I call him. Some people call him the Samurai, others just call him Endo. But that's that. And again, he's our guy in a different way.
Right.
But you've got the options. You've got Rio chomping at the bit and fans saying, I can't wait to see him. So they all of a sudden, they hate Cody Gakpo. Yeah, I hate him. Get him off. I want to see Rio on. So then there's Curtis Jones, who everyone hates as well. Oh, he holds the ball too long. He's rubbish. But mind you, he came on and he was the one that changed the game against Arsenal on the weekend. There's so much still going on. Isak isn't fit. So he 22, that's why I call him. He is him. He 22, Hugo Ekateke 22. So that's for me. That's for you. So when you see it in the chat, that's Hugo. He 22. That's
right. Hugo Ekateke. So, got you.
Yeah, number 22. Yeah. So he is in form as well. So there's no need to rush Isak back. So there's a lot in your favor. Obviously, you just want your fingers to be crossed that everyone comes back from international duty unscathed. And you say to yourself, okay, do we have everybody back? Yes. Is Frimpong back? Yes. Okay, good. So what does that mean? Frimpong and Brothers are back. Good. So does that mean Dom is still at right back? Probably not. Okay, so is Dom now your partner for CJ? Sorry, for Grava.
Yeah, as soon as Bradley and Frimpong are fit.
Dom's gone for me. Dom's gone from right back. Yeah, that was a stopgap. So Dom's a midfielder. You fight for your spot in the middle of the park. So if you've made yourself undroppable, then it's you and Gravenberch.
I don't think that even Dom is playing the role, but he doesn't want to be a right back. I think personally.
Of course not. He just wants to play. But that's what you do. Yeah. So when we play, and I mean Burnley probably isn't going to be the best example because, and I'll tell you why I said this about Turf Moor. For me, Burnley are championship side. That's what I mean. I won't say no disrespect because that sounds disrespectful, but all of the championship sides that have come up have gone back down, and I think I'm being straight. I've got Burnley to be relegated, so in my mind they're still a championship side. So going to their ground, we should beat them. Yes, every away ground there's a different challenge if you want, because we're the champions though. We are the champions. We have to accept that every game is going to be ugly. Not many teams are going to play football against us. Just don't complain about set pieces or fouls or whatever. The referees are not going to give us anything. We have to figure out how we play better because we haven't been good yet. We have too much talent to be looking at this in the negative. It's easy to sort of pick it apart. Like I just, like I said, there's a lot of questions I have more for the coach. We've got results, but Rio late on, Chiesa late on, Dom with a gem, that's 9 points. You're not doing that every single week. The patterns of play have to be better.
you're not rolling the dice on individual brilliance.
Nah, not every week. So he needs to figure that out. As for the pivot, I mean, I'm not sure I answered the question because, like I said, I don't know 12. I don't know, honestly.
All three of our points have been from a moment of individual brilliance.
Yeah, all of them have come from. Yeah, look, Chiesa came on late as a sub. There was a winner. Yeah, Mo got the fourth, but Chiesa got the winner, 3-2. That's it. Game was done. You know? Yeah,
basically the winner. Rio had the game winner.
Bang, yeah. Best passage of football for the entire 90 minutes. Sorry, 100 plus minutes game when he came on. That sort of passage of passing and movement. Chiesa, Harvey Elliott, Mo, Ibu, Dom. Everybody was involved. Rio scores. You say to yourself, okay, why couldn't we do that 20 minutes ago? And then continue to do it for 20 minutes.
Okay, so, and Lee was a part of the conversation. He was part of the panel, so he can definitely weigh in on this too. But my point of why I was getting agitated was because all I asked for was, and it's simple. We all have a preset notion of who is the starters of this team. Who's the best 11 that we would normally see time in and time out to start the games. So, I mean, some of the...
All right, 12, let's do it together. Let's do a default. We'll do a default 11. Ali, keeper, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Left back, Kirkes, yeah?
Robbo, right? No, I'm just joking. Big up, Robbo. You know I got you.
Every time. Braveheart. Love Braveheart. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So, we know it's Kirkes, it's VVD, it's Ibu, and it's, let's say, Frimpong. Let's just, for argument's sake, Frimpong. Maybe it's Bradley. Whoever you want. One between them. So I'll give you a slash.
I did this with Lalante, and Lalante had, which was a good shout if he's healthy, and it would be if I've said that this player is possibly the best partnership VVD has ever seen or played with has been with Gomez. He has Gomez in as being, if he's healthy, Gomez in as
5 years ago, though. That's the only problem, innit?
I get that.
No, I don't think you'll find a Liverpool fan that doesn't like Joe.
Not many.
I don't think you'll find any that don't like him. So I would agree, but Joey G hasn't shown us what he needs to show us in 5 years, unfortunately.
No, I'll tell you this. I think Joey G has, out of all this, he has the best passing range out of the center halves that we have. I think that he has, he's possibly the fastest center half partner. It's certainly the partner. I don't know if he's faster than Virgil van Dijk or not. I think he might be, but I think he's one of the fastest center halves that we have on this team. I also think that he's got incredible football IQ because he knows how to play all the different roles. So therefore, no matter what part of the pitch he's on, he'll be able to contend with it. And those are reasons why I think that Gomez is an exceptional player and could be a player that we could, if he could just be healthy, rely on. Unfortunately, that portion of his
healthy Joey makes the bench every week. I'll put it that way. If he's healthy, he makes the bench every week because he can play anywhere across the back four if you ask him.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
So we picked.
Going beyond
we picked our back five.
So basically. No, but go to the right back. Who do you have right back, by the way?
I'm indifferent. As I said, I'll give you one. I'll give you one or the other. Brothers or Frimpong, you decide. Both of them were unfit. Now they're going to be fit.
Gotta pick one.
If I'm going to pick one right now, I'll say I'll probably go with Frimpong because he started this season.
I think Frimpong is the best complement to Kirkes in the sense of they offer very similar skill sets going forward. So therefore, you could have that the left and right attack could be very much of a simultaneously adjusted to each other, if you know what I mean. Like as in, it's like the things that you look for your left back going forward, you could look for the same in your right back. That's what my point is. I'm not saying Bradley could certainly do a job there too. I'm not saying that he couldn't. I just think of it as Frimpong slightly edges my preference in the right back position.
Put it this way, whichever name's there come Sunday or Saturday afternoon, for me, it doesn't matter. Brothers or Frimpong, I'm indifferent. I'm good either way. It's not him saying, "Oh God, Bradley's playing. Oh God, Frimpong's playing." It's one of, okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Either one. Yeah, I think they're level, so it's either one. I'm good. In the middle of the park, I think we would have ended the season with Mac and Grava.
Go with the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. So I'm going to the 2. I think Mac, Grava probably are the pivot, and the issue we have, like I said, is Lungs. Lungs has to find a way into the team, and if I'm going to pick it from here, he's not in the team, and that's where I'm looking at the coach and saying, okay, well, you tell me what it is. Is it Lungs or is it skills? What do you want? Because Lungs was in the 10, and you've added Verts to the 10. You've taken Lungs out. So does Lungs become part of the pivot now, or is it Mac? Is it Mac and Grava? That's what arguably you would have started with, because Dom was the 10, not that he wasn't in the pivot. He's played in the pivot and we've seen it, but the pivot you had before would have been Grava and Mac, Verts in the 10, and then it's, as I said, Ekatike stays on top because Isak isn't fit, Mo on the right, and Gakker's on the left. That's sort of like the default 11 for me. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the 11 that has to play every minute, every game, or whatever, because the reason for a squad means, in my eyes, that we can attack everything legitimately, not half-heartedly, legitimately.
I know.
Now, 12, you've repeated something, right? You've repeated something that the coach said last season.
This is like Freaky Friday or something like that, or like where you're like everyone's changing, like we change positions, because like I'm sitting here going like I'm one that's being the person that's saying, oh, you don't have to get the diplomatic answer, just be direct. Yeah, we get that, but because the majority of the games, let's be honest, Slot plays the same lineup. How many times did we say?
But that's the problem. No, but that's the problem we had last season. No.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the issue for that season?
That's my point. So when it comes to when I was pressing for an answer, I was pressing when it came to the pivot.
I understood what you meant. Yeah, I understoed what you meant. I got you when you were pressing.
Oh, well, no, matters who we're playing. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm asking you for who are the preferred role starters in these roles versus X, not we're playing Real Madrid tomorrow, or we're playing Burnley tomorrow, or we're playing Southampton tomorrow. No, against X. Who would you put against general team? That's all I was asking. And I kept getting a lot of waffle, as they like to say, because all of a sudden it was like a 20-word, 20-word answer. And I just asked for two names. That's all I was asking.
KJ is saying it in the chat, and I'm hoping that he said last season something about 13, 14 players or something like that. When he said that, I cringed. I said, nah. This Premiership isn't the league where you can do that and then expect us to do well across the cups and in Europe. That's not going to happen.
It's not possible.
No, it isn't possible.
Impossible. Yeah. Go on, Lee. Go on.
I think he knows that. I think he'll have learned that from last season. He's not soft, is he? He's not daft. He'll have learned that from last season, that there will have to be more rotation in midfield as well. He admitted that he shouldn't have played Gravenberch against Southampton, didn't he? So that's a sign that he has learned from it, maybe, or will learn from it.
Yeah, and those are points of why I was I was constructively critical of the coach last year because of those reasons, because I was somewhat upset and disappointed the fact of how we got bounced from the Champions League squad or Champions League competition. I thought that we should have and could have at least held court at Anfield to get us through to the next round. But we didn't. I didn't like the rotation or the lack of rotation. In the Southampton game before that, we're playing a team that's at the bottom of the league at Anfield, yet we're still going into this game with some of the starters that we're going to play 3 days later in a PSG game. Those were issues that I was finding, and those are reasons why when I do emphasize or hear these people say, or some people say, not all, not everyone, but some people say this we need another 6, or we need this, or we need that, and this and that. And I'm like, okay, well then who are those players and who are you replacing? Because the same problems that you're speaking on, Pops, very eloquently too, by the way, is what I'm emphasizing. I think, and I've put it out there before, I did a whole episode last year and I did an episode on it this year. I think Dominik Szoboszlai could play one of the most essential portions or parts of our team this year. I think he could be one of the most essential players of our team. However, the issue with saying that statement is, now that we have Verts, now that we have Maka, or we still have Maka, but now we still have Maka, we still have Gravenberch, we still have Curtis Jones, okay? Elliott's no longer part of the team, but people are trying to get other players to be supplemented into the team as well. Dom is a fifth to that cog of 4 players I just spoke of for our midfield. Where does he fit into that? And also you mix in maybe even a Trey Neone who's going to get minutes here and there. But I mean, like, that's not a concern of taking away Dom's minutes per se. But it could be if you're going to look at Dom being a substitute. If Dom is going to be under the pretense of what our coach said last year, which is the cup games are the opportunities for your Chiesas, are the opportunities for your Trey Neones. Now all of a sudden, Dom has been almost like relegated to, well, he'll play if he's playing now because he's a stopgap. But does Dom play in that midfield? If everyone's healthy, that's under the pretense everyone's healthy. I know that's rarely so. But if everyone's healthy, that's all I'm asking. Who are your starters? And then if you're from the case, Pops, you said, I don't know if Lee wants to bring in Wharton and Baleba as well, or Wharton or Baleba, or even Ederson or whoever. If you are able to bring in Baleba, let's say for you, Pops, or you are able to bring in, if you do believe there is a better choice at 6 for you, Lee, who is it? And then who do you end up taking out of that that mid 3? Who is getting replaced?
If we bring a new player in who we can't leave on the bench, hypothetically, who's getting left out?
I don't even know. I'm not trying to speak for you. I don't know if you're. I'm not under the pretense that it is dire that we bring in a player to replace one of the current players that we have in the roles that they're playing. I think we
need cover because he won't play Endo from the start, and when it's just McAllister and Szoboszlai instead of Gravenberch and McAllister, it's not as good a cover for the defense.
He chose to bring Endo on the Champions League squad. He put Endo's name on the Champions League squad. He could have put Chiesa. But when you
look at the way Gravenberch can protect the defense with his position and just his physicality compared to how well McAllister can shield the defense. McAllister can tackle and he's a battler and that, but he's got no pace or athleticism in terms of playing the 6 to get around and like help the centre backs in that. So for me, we need some sort of backup because he won't use Endo, and I don't like Mac and Szoboszlai as the pivot as much, obviously. As
you don't like Mac and Szoboszlai?
No, not as the pivot. And you can bring Jones in. I don't like it when it's Mac and Jones, or say Sobo and Jones as the pivot. Take Ryan out. We've got nothing really, have we?
I'll make it as easy as possible. Let's do this as what is that? And now I'm going blank on the game. Where you can 12? You can either 12? Like you can pick the mystery box, or you can just go with the prize you have, type situation, right?
Big up that.
If the prize you have is the players that we have currently as our
big up Pops.
Big up, by the way, big up Nolante.
Big up totally.
If the prize we have are the players we have currently in the pivot, okay? Tell me who those players would be as your starters. But if you want to go for the mystery box, and you want to, and the mystery box has got your player of choice that you would like to bring in as a starter to replace one of those players that you would normally have as a starter, please tell me who is in the mystery box for you.
12.
Go ahead, Pops.
Now, I just wanted to ask Lee one question too, because he said he gave the combinations that he didn't like. I'm interested just to understand what he wants from the pivot.
Very good question. Because I assume it means that you're not getting it from Dom.
Yes, yeah, that's it. I'm trying to understand what you expect from the pivot for
So
then when you pick your cast, so you can understand why you're picking the cast. Yeah.
Yep.
I just feel like a Gravenberch-less pivot doesn't give the defense as much cover. So I would like to see Endo given a shout more often, because now we've got Wirtz in the midfield as well. Why couldn't Endo play the 6 sometimes? We've got the creativity of Wirtz to come, hopefully, if he settles in on that. Alongside McAllister. That should be enough creativity to be going on with for the midfield. Lob Endo in at the 6 sometimes, like to protect the defence more. I'm not into it having like what we had McAllister and Szoboszlai as the pivot, or McAllister and Jones, or Szoboszlai and Jones. It's not as good, mate, is it? Leaves the defence exposed sometimes.
Right.
Not all the
Can
time, but sometimes it does.
If I may, 12, just indulge me again. So in the pivot, there are 2 players, but you just said play somebody in the 6. So is your pivot a 6 and an 8? Lee, is that what it is?
Yeah, ideally, yeah. I'm Gravenberch is a 6 and McAllister is an 8. They're ideal together. They work really well together, but you take one of them away.
Can you just repeat what you said, Lee? Wait, Gravenberch's a what?
A 6.
He said Gravenberch is the 6, and
He's
Matt
a
is
6.
the 8.
I'm constantly told that Gravenberch's not a 6.
No, he's a 6 and McAllister's an 8, and they're really good.
I heard that correctly.
They're really good blend together, I think, them 2. But you take one, even if you take McAllister out as well, it's not as good when it's just Gravenberch and another. And then somebody in the 10. It's not the same thing for me. We do need a signing, but it won't be till next summer, will it? But sometimes I feel we are a bit exposed in midfield when one of them is missing. There's a puzzle to be figured out for Slot here, because we won't have them players all the time. We won't.
Well, I mean, yeah. Here we go. Right. Let's bring on.
12, you're going low. 12? Your volume's down.
Oh, my volume's going low a little bit. Yeah.
It's back just now.
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when I hit the media button, it took me out for a second. But now that we have our audience with us, our studio audience for this game show, who are your 2? That's all I'm asking. Are you going to mystery box? You got your choice of going to mystery box and getting your player. Or who is going to be your 2 starters in the pivot? That's all I'm asking. Not against this squad or that squad, or maybe when they play this team, they'll be this, or maybe just tell me who are your 2 starters.
You want me now or Nalante?
Yeah. Do it. Because I don't know if Lee's going to answer that one out. Pops, go ahead.
Well, Lee, I think Lee said who he didn't want. then he threw in a couple of variations. So Lee, who you going with, Lee?
Who you going
with? Who are your 2?
Your 2 pivots.
Gravenberch and McAllister with Wirtz ahead of them.
Bang. All right.
We need a long run of games where Gravenberch and McAllister start every bastard game, and that'll help Wirtz settle in better. If them 2 are in tandem and playing well, as last season, it'll help Wirtz settle quicker, because he'll have something that's working splendidly behind him once we get going in the season. Once we play a team that allows us to play, unlike Arsenal.
Okay. Pops,
I'm
you're
not
up.
so sure many will allow us to play, Lee. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to demand.
Newcastle
We have to
bloody
demand.
didn't
Newcastle were really
Newcastle
good.
were all
We have to
over
demand
us.
it. Exactly.
Yeah, we got to earn it. And McAllister and Gravenberch are good enough to earn it. They're good enough at stamping themselves on a game. I'm winning it. Hey, we might come up against PSG again. It'd be interesting to see how we did against them with Wirtz in it, especially if Wirtz has settled in and things are working well between McAllister and Gravenberch. Be good to get to grips with them again, maybe.
For me, 12. I'm going with Brava and I'm going with Dom.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because, and I'll give you just in my mind, Lee said he's going with a 6 and an 8. Now, to me, the 6 and the 8 means you've left your 6 isolated. If it's McAllister, Dom can be that sort of 8 hybrid if you want, because he has the lungs to get back and forth to still then help on the defensive end of things.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is under the premise, and this is me selfishly picking this because I'm picking it under the basis that Frimpong and Kirkes are going to be my flying wingers. Gackers and Mo are going to be my inverted forwards, and I'm going to have a dedicated number 9 in either Isak or Ekateke up front in that spot where there's a man in the box for a cross or inserted pass, and Wirtz obviously is going to be in the 10. For me, this is all eyes are on Mr. Locke. All eyes are on Locke, not the players. I'm looking at him for the solutions. The players, I'm looking at them to pass the football better because our passing has been atrocious in the first 3 games. But that's the rationale for my 2, Dom and Gravenberch.
It's a good shout. That's an excellent shout. He's possibly the most physical, athletic and physical presence.
And that's what I'm looking for in the style that I want to play. I think the 10 the 10 works with the wingers and them. That's my sort of rationale.
Are you so? But let me just make sure this is clear. I'll do my best. Wayne Brady here. You're not going to go for the mystery box.
That's the mystery box right there. Oh, okay. I've already gone in the mystery box.
You couldn't take the mystery box. Said, "Oh, I want Baleba to replace."
No. I told you the Baleba thing. I love Baleba. Baleba's been my pick for. I picked Baleba basically the first time I saw him. We played them and I saw him. I said, "I want this kid. Him. Put him in the academy. Bring him over now. Let's get him before he becomes something else. And it's too late now. He's something else, and we're probably not going to get him." It was like Martinelli and Saka when I saw them earlier. Say, get the 2 of them. Go get them now. Mane and Mo are covered. Get those 2. They'll be good enough when those 2 are finished. We'll just slap them on the pitch and we'll continue to win. But that's my Baleba shout. I like him though. I really like him a lot. I think he's a really good player, and he's probably going to be that 100 million man.
Yeah, I have no issues.
But I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know what our coach is going to do. So saying that he's perfect for the team or whatever is just me being selfish because I say I like him. And every player that I like doesn't mean we necessarily have to buy, but because he was linked to United, he was like, yeah, get it, please. Rescue him from the hellhole that is Old Trafford. That's all that was. But I'm good. I don't need to go in the mystery box. I'm good with what we got.
And die an ugly death. I got you.
And not only that, I don't want to see him go and make them better either because he'd make them better.
Right.
Let them stay where they are. Long may they suffer. Yeah, let them suffer. Hashtag suffering. That's what he said. That's Amarin. Amarin said suffering. So hashtag suffering is what you'll see whenever I'm on Flawless Show. You'll see me put that in the chat because that's Amarin's words. They need to suffer. So I'm for the suffering.
All right. How about for you, Delonte? Hopefully you were here for the premise of it. You can stay with your current prize of whomever you think should be our 2 starting players in the pivot. Okay. I don't know what your combination is, but whatever it is, tell us, and then we'll understand. And then you can give reasoning as to why you like those 2 players. Or you could take the mystery box and you can say whatever player that is out there that you want to start instead of. Who would it be?
Yeah, that'd be too easy. Can I just quickly ask Pops, Sam, because I was interested. You know, Pops, you said Grav and Sobo. So where does McAllister fit in, or would he be on the bench for you?
Yeah, on the bench. They all can't play. At the end of the day, they all can't fit. So I just said selfishly based on what I wanted. That's sort of my structure based on what I think the pivot should do. Unless I'm looking at it wrong. I think the double pivot is supposed to work in a certain manner, and I don't think that it works in that manner that I'm currently seeing right now. Which is why I said all eyes are on Mr. Locke for me. I'm looking at him and saying, show me. Show me, sir. You have all the tools. Show me now. And I don't in all honesty, our squad is so good. I don't care who they put on the pitch. I'm good with whatever 11. I'm just saying, here's my 11 based on what I thought each of those players would do. That's me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Okay.
That's fair enough. I mean, if I put the mystery box, then I'll just be saying the name that's just unrealistic. So I'll just keep it to what we have here.
In the mystery box would be.
I'm curious. I'm curious now. Who's in the box?
Yeah, I'm
who's in that box?
Now, exactly.
Unrealistic. Who's that?
No, Rodri's the easy answer, of course, but someone up Barca. Yeah, Rodri would be the easy answer, of course. Who wouldn't? He'll get into any team. He'll get into the He'll get into our team. He would.
Rodri has a soul 6 maybe, but I don't know as a pivot. But
no, he would. I'm not gonna lie. He would. He can't. He can't. He's not sitting on the bench. But again, it depends. As a player, he's walking into nearly enough every team.
Stay with it, Lenante then. So the box is open. You've opened Pandora's box. You've got Rodri. Who else is playing next to him now? Or are you changing the system? Are you going 4-3-3 and Rodri as one as a lone 6?
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
You open the box. I'm just saying. You open the box. Yeah, you open the box. So go on. You got Rodri. Finish the front 5.
I'm just trying to pour the water, pour the pressure, trying to turn the heat and cook up.
Finish the 5. Finish the 5.
You know what? Yeah, I love Mac, but I'll do Grav. Okay, I'll do Grav, Rodri. I'll do McAllister as the 10. And then you're talking about Salah, Isak.
What are you putting on the bench? Or are you putting 116 million?
It sounds like we got a new left winger. It sounds like we got a new left winger.
Probably, yeah. I mean, God, it depends, isn't it? Actually, you know
what? You're breaking up a little.
He's not the better player, clearly, but okay. Can you hear me or not? Can you hear me?
You're back. Can you
hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I'm just coming back from work. You know what? He's not the better player. He's not on Wirtz's level, but probably Cody. That's what I'll do.
So you've dropped Wirtz.
Wait. So you have Wirtz?
Yeah.
And on the bench.
Yeah. He's not getting in front of Isak.
£2
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because the only reason why, and you can say they're both better. I'm not saying that they're better players because Cody is a winner. Well, he's a winner. Yeah.
It's your showcase. It's your showcase. You can pick whatever you like.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Your turn, 12.
I know.
Just in case you try to moonwalk out of this. No.
Yeah, I know. I think that I would just I think that Maka and Grav are with what we have, because I can't sit Verts. I have to play him at the 10. If I could put him if I could move Mac in the 10, it'd be fantastic. But realistically, Mac's not going to be at the 10, and we're not going to be able to do that. So the pivot I would have would be Gravenberg as one of my pivots, and then on the other side, I would still have Mac. I think Maka is the maestro of our midfield. Many people might not recognize that, but Maka makes our midfield work as much as Gravenberg does too. I think one of the components that is different this year that makes Maka and Grav's contributions a little bit more difficult to see is the fact that Verts isn't the same 10 that Dom was in that role. He's more of an offensive-minded player. He's not going to bring you the same defense nor the same lungs as Pops mentioned earlier, as you'll get with Dom. And because of such, you're not getting a player that's going to have the same coverage of the pitch as you would with Dom in the 10. And because Dom did that in the 10, our pivot was able to sometimes go a little bit further, get involved offensively at times as well, and not get stuck out simply because of the amount of coverage that Dom provided. But when you have Verts now in that role, it's not going to be the same coverage as you had with Dom. And now all of a sudden you have a more offensive, more front-footed player in that role. And now you are going to have to rely a little bit more on defense. And that's why, the shout for Endo, or maybe if I did bring Rodri, I'd have Rodri and Maka actually as the two possibly, because I just think Maka is I don't want to say he's very close to undroppable, because I just know that I had him as if I have Maka as borderline world class and then I'm going to put him on the bench, it doesn't make sense for me. It just doesn't make sense for me. So that's why I would stick with Maka and Grav in my pivot. If you don't think Maka's world class, much less even close to world class, that makes sense. Then I can understand you can do what you want to do with Maka by putting him on the bench. But I think a fit Maka, by the way, a fit Maka is possibly one of the best midfielders in the league.
That's the caveat there, though. 12
fit.
Yes. The fit there. I think that's, for me, that's why I've gone with Dom, because Matt isn't up to speed yet, and you can see it because he's on limited minutes. I mean, Ekatike is on limited minutes as well, so you know that he isn't 90-minute ready either, which probably works well now that Isak is here, because you can kind of share those and they can work together to get fully fit. But Mac is the one who needs to come back sort of more in gear and ready for the season from international duty, because he's been a bit off and not quite at the races so far. And you can say that for a lot of the team, but that was, again, my rationale for saying, you know what, I'm going Dom just ahead of Mac because of, again, as I said, what I'm looking at. So, but the key for me is, and I keep saying it, I'm looking at Mr. Locke. My eyes are laser focused on you now. This isn't about the 20 players or whatever it is, it's you. If you're back at this 12, 13, 14, or 15 player nonsense that you said last season, then you and I are going to have a problem, because that's all I'm going to talk about all season long. Then that's where my problem is going to be. You've got too many options, too much quality. Because if you were to say, because Harvey Elliott's gone on loan or he's gone. He's out of the picture. So from a profile perspective, your 10 is Verts and I would say Mac 10. Those are your 10 profile, because Dom isn't Verts anymore. So Dom has now moved into another realm as opposed to being the 10, because that's not the 10 you wanted. You've got a different 10 now where it's more technical, which to me is more of what McAllister is. Is that where you can say, and again, because he's 116 million, does that mean he has to play every minute? No, because Isak's 125 million or whatever, and he won't play every minute. So you've got the resources, and as much as the jokers that are our rivals will say, Verts is a flop, he's on the bench or whatever, who cares? As long as we're winning, it doesn't matter who it is that's doing the winning. Yes, Verts might take a little longer to acclimate to the Premiership, maybe, I don't know. But what I'm saying is pass him the ball. I've seen enough runs from him and enough movement where he's made a run and it's opened up a space. He made a run, McAllister saw him make the run, opened the space, punched it into Hugo. Hugo scores, and you say this, we see that there's movement in those three where they understand one another right from the jump. That's all you want to see. That's all I want to see now. So I'm looking at Mr. Locke.
Would I ask this? So, looking at Mr. Locke, I'll ask this to Lee and then to Pops. Would you back my contention that we should transition from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2, 4-2-4, which can be formed into a 4-2-4 at times, but 4-4-2, 4-2-4, however you want to look at it, instead of having a 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, in terms of starting a match, I like it the way it is, the 4-3-3, but we can move it around during games, can't we? Like you said, McAllister is one of the best midfielders in the world. Like, I'd start him when we come back. He might not last the whole match, but I would start him against Burnley, so if Gravenberch can try and get on top of the game, like, and that.
Okay. So you want to stick with the format that we have, basically. Okay.
For starting games, yeah, the 4-2-3-1 or whatever.
Yeah, and I know it adjusts during the game. We all know it definitely adjusts during the game. Because this is something that we did try to go over yesterday. What is the formation that best works for you? Because maybe there's a formation that you can put out there that Dom does get involved and you can still keep a Maka, or Dom gets involved and you can still keep Verts and you can keep a Nekatike, or maybe Cody.
Dom can play with Verts, can't he? Verts can go to the left, like, it puts pressure on Cozy, but we can accommodate both of them sometimes if he chooses to do that, which I think he will. The way Szoboszlai is playing, he's done himself no harm at all, deputising it right back. So he's right in the mix, in the picture, isn't he, for the starting 11 against Burnley?
Well, what is it that you think? What is your you've got a set of 4-2-3-1 still, or 4-3-3, same thing basically. What's your formation, Pops?
Again, for me, it's just I'm struggling with what I'm seeing. So adding Gehi, for example, was that a move to a 3 at the back where you have Frimpong and Kirkes as your flying wing backs that you used to see at Leverkusen? Is that it? And then does that then allow you to get more from Verts, sort of more on a left than as a 10? I don't know. 4-4-2 sounds good, obviously, because you've got two strikers now, and you're saying, well, Hugo's come and put himself in a position where he's quote unquote in form. He scored goals, and Isak's gonna bag as soon as he walks onto the pitch. Then okay, what does that mean for Cody and Mo? Are they now the two wide players in your 4? That still leaves you with an issue in the middle too.
No. Verts would be the wide player in my format.
So okay, so good. So Cody's out. Verts takes the left spot. You still only got 2 in the middle. So is Mo the one on the right? Maybe Mo's out and Dom's on the right, and then it's 4 sort of midfielders playing in the middle of the 4. Maybe it's 4-4-2 in a diamond. I'll be honest. I don't care what the system is. I just need the football to be better. This is why I'm looking over to the bench and saying, you get paid the money. Show me the money now. Because we should be winning and winning handsomely now. Everyone said it's yours to win. The title is the Liverpool's already been engraved on the Premiership. You've bought it, whatever. Okay, cool. Whatever you want to say, rivals. I'm happy to own that. Yes, it's ours. Write our names on that trophy right now. Bang. Good. Mr. Locke, go and win that. And win some other things too. Rub their face in this here by winning other things. Because I'm tired of the only winning the Premiership rubbish as well. So that's garbage. But you know what? Let's make it garbage by winning other things. Shut up, rivals, now. Because we've won that and that and that and that. I'd said 4 things there just now. Maybe that was a slip, but maybe it wasn't. Anyhow.
Pops, I heard on True Geordie's channel.
Not him, 12. Not him. Not him. You're not allowed to quote him. Him. Come on, we're done with him. We've written him off, man.
I heard on his channel that they're expecting us to win the treble.
Good. Yeah, whatever.
Expect it, or that's the only, like, as in, if we don't win the treble, it's a disappointment.
Good.
It is a
failure, a disappointment, and all this other rubbish. Yeah. We flopped it. Yeah. Cool. Wonderful. The print is a failure. We only won the print. Only. Yeah.
Exactly.
We can go back and count how many teams have only won the Prem, right? Because there are not many of them, if we're being honest. And we only won 2 in 35 years, they said. So, winning another one would just only be winning it again. Okay, cool, whatever. And again, the narratives are there for them to write. If you want to go along with their narratives, that's fine. I'm not.
No, all it takes, if they say that, is to say how long has it been since your side won the league. Unless it's City, they can't say much, can you?
I know. I think who was saying that comment. Oh, I think the sad thing is the guy that was saying it was a Spurs supporter.
I was just going to say the majority of them are going to be fans of clubs that haven't won in a while. Either way, whichever way you look at it, because it's been blue for the last whatever number of years, other than when we won it. So before City, it was less than Chelsea. So
I looked up just how much Spurs have won in the entire history of Spurs, and it is precious little. I have to say that, and I quite like Spurs, but it's precious little that they've won in the club's history.
They've been that knocked outside, innit? Spurs,
yeah, the cupboard's a bit bare. There's a few pieces in the cupboard, but not much.
I did want to comment on the chat. I do try to keep an eye on what the chat's saying. And I did see that the reaction to me saying a 4-4-2 / I'm calling a hybrid 4-4-2 because it'd be a 4-4-2 that when we go forward would be a 4-2-4, but when we play defensively it'd be a 4-4-2. And then that 4-4-2 would be a box situation when it comes to our press and trying to contain and dominate our midfield. But that is exactly what we do, or not exactly, but there are parts of that we actually do currently, even though we do play a 4-2-3-1. There are times when we're in a 4-3-3, at times we're in a 4-2-4, at times we're in a 4-4-2, times we're in there are various formations that we can find ourselves in, and that's the unique fluidity of our team. I'd like to call it an amoeba style formation that we try to find. We've had that since Klopp era, though, and that's when been the emphasis of getting a lot of these Dutch players, especially, trying to be able to have players that can play in different roles and different positions on the pitch and not be confined to, you're just a right wing. Therefore, if you are found central, you're not going to feel out of place. You'll be able to actually make some use out of being on the pitch in that spot. But yeah, the supercomputer, by the way, Pops, has us at 50.66%, and we're the leading contender in winning the title this year. Arsenal trail that figure of 50%, 51 if you want to round up, right? At 23.5 if you want to round up for them, 24%. So they're at half. The computer thinks they have half the chance of winning the title than we do. Chelsea's at 9.7%, 10% if you want to round up again. And then Manchester City are down to 6.6%. 6.4%, basically 6%. The supercomputer is picking them at a 6% chance of winning the league this year.
That's crazy.
That's incredibly, that is incredible.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. The supercomputer basically takes like tens and thousands of scenarios, does this algorithm where it breaks down all these different ways that the games can all get configured and what would be the likelihood of teams beating this person, this team, and that team, yada, yada, yada.
I don't like that report that Reinders injured Gravenberch a bit in training because he's a City player. Do you reckon there's any chance Pep told him to give him a hoof? Because I don't know. But I hope he saw. Have they kicked off tonight, Holland's match against Poland?
I don't have my phone next to me, so I don't know.
But he was in the starting 11, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But I hope he isn't bruised up or anything from what Reinder's done to him.
They drew 1-1 tonight.
If it's not, if it's
something, but your mic is pretty low.
It sounds like you said they drew. I think they announced that they drew 1-1.
Okay. I was just going to say also on that list, by the way, the supercomputer did predict Crystal Palace at 3.3% of a chance of winning the title this year.
No, that's rubbish, man.
Throw
it all away.
Throw it all away.
Throw it all the way to it. Yeah, it's all done. It's all done, 12. That just made everything rubbish. Everything's just rubbish now. Yeah. Throw it all away. Crystal Palace.
Newcastle was at. What do you think Newcastle was at? They predict Newcastle making the list too.
Newcastle have a chance of winning the Prem.
Yeah.
No.
I would say give them like 3.5%.
What they should have done is just done the field. They should do the top
City
4 in the field.
6% off the supercomputer. I say Newcastle then got like 3.2%.
Okay. Newcastle got 1.68% chance.
Yeah, I was just going to say 1%.
Yeah. So they got the least. They got less than Palace.
They got less than Palace.
This computer's ruthless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got a grudge.
Crazy.
This computer's got a grudge.
Yeah, exactly. This computer, it's a supercomputer. It takes no prisoners.
Nah, it's not so super. That's not so super to me.
I won't bring up the True Geordie stuff then with Pops. I don't want to get him triggered, but I will. I wanted to bring.
Go on. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Stop around. Daniel Levy is out.
That's good for Spurs.
He said this quote. He says Spurs fans will give him credit once he's gone. Spurs finally went to Super Bowl last season's Europa League, but with years of near misses, Levy has admitted the club's lack of sustained success has been frustrating even to him. The question is, does one trophy in 20 years offset all the failures? For some, maybe. For others, no. But Spurs are away from being title contenders. I didn't say their name in the supercomputer. I don't know what ranking they got. But, I think their percentage was Spursy. That's all this says.
Unnecessary shot there at Spurs. Look at you.
There was 12 zeros in it anyway from the beginning.
Something like that. I know their fan base will probably be split on whether Levy is a visionary or an anchor holding them back, because I know he has created one of the richest clubs in the Premier League, despite them not winning anything really. They're certainly one of the most affluent teams.
To be honest, I'm surprised I didn't see this coming, because he has stepped down at the right moment with them winning the Europa League. You know, it's a massive thing for them. It's not the tournament it was now that the Champions League teams don't fall back into it, because that used to like beef it back up again, the Europa League. But now it's a bit limp in it. But it's a massive trophy, you know, for him. So I should have seen that one coming, actually, that he'd step down and say to the next man, can you do better?
It was also connected to someone else leaving the team too, by the way. In the article I read, at least, it said it was connected to Donna. I'd have to look up Donna Maria or something like that, or it's one of the executives, is a female executive that was part of the team, left the club, and he decided to part ways after she left as well. She was a part of it. She wasn't the sole reason, but she was a part of it.
It's potentially a good window for Spurs. Palina Kudus Muani, isn't it? They lost Maddison, but they replaced him there, didn't they?
They've been a good window.
They have had a good window. Like if it all comes off,
Eze would have been, would have just been an exceptional addition to their team, and that would have made their, I don't know if you have it as a B. I'm
looking at Spurs and United as a bit of a duo this season because I want to see which one finishes higher up the table after last season's abysmal effort from both sides in the Premier League.
Kudus is a huge addition to their team. Huge addition.
Most definitely.
Xavi Simons, Xavi Simons.
I know that Swansea is injured, or was injured at least for a little while. But Richarlison is having a rebirth to his career currently. I know it's on game 3, but to this season, he's actually found a little bit of re-interest in the game. But it is interesting that he chose this time. I don't know if it makes a difference, though. I mean, do you really think it's going to make a difference for Spurs that Daniel Levy is not a part of the team anymore?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other part, I guess, is the ultimate ownership, though, because they've been complaining about, I think they call it ENIC who's the guy above Levy. So maybe it's the fall of the empire. I don't know. Levy's just the chairman, so it's still
he's the chairman. He's not the majority.
He's not the ultimate owner, exactly.
He's just the face, and he's the face of it.
He owns 30% of the club, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does own a part. Yeah.
Sure, it'll be a very capable man who succeeds him.
But they've complained that he's too cheap all the time, though. They've always said that he's sort of held them back in transfers and tried to wheel and deal too much, and then they've not got the things done. I mean, Eze is a good example of that, to be honest, because Eze was at their front door and it allowed Arsenal to swoop in and take him away, innit?
Remember when they bought the midfielder, Dumbele, but then didn't go well, and he was sold loaned out quickly, and Potts left quickly after. That was their record signing one at the time.
Oh no, Dumbele, he was a success league. He was a successful Spurs.
Who was the one that he bought then that didn't work? That got rid of?
You're talking about
I think he said Ndombele, not Dembele. I think he said Ndombele.
Ndombele, I think was from France, but it was Pochettino. I think it was Pochettino's biggest outlay, but it didn't come off. But
60 mil.
Yeah, I think that was their big one, at the time. Which sure, that's a bit surprising for Spurs that they haven't paid anything like that before. But, okay.
Yeah.
Too busy doing Beyonce concerts.
Daniel Levy owns 30. Daniel Levy owns 30% of Spurs. The Lewis family, who is Joe Lewis, not the Joe Lewis possibly that some of you are thinking of, but the Joe Lewis, who owns 70% of the club. He's put it into a trust now, and it's the Lewis family trust that owns it, and they are still 70% ownership of the team. So yeah, even though Levy is the face of the team, the Lewis family is certainly the owners of the team.
Okay. So they're like the Glazers are the Spurs, the Lewis family.
Exactly. Because what's the name of his company again? Ineos? Isn't it Ineos or something like that?
Which one?
Enif, is it? Oh no.
Manchester United? Ineos.
Ineos, yeah.
It's Ineos, yeah. Ineos is United.
Yeah, Ineos only owns like 25% of the team or something like that. They only own like quarter of the team.
Yeah,
20,
they're
own like
minority holder.
1/5 or 1/4 of the team ownership they have, but they run the team.
They run the business essentially. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same thing that Levy owned,
Like Levy, yeah, exactly.
But he wasn't the majority.
He's not the ultimate. Yeah, he's not the ultimate owner. Yeah.
Right. All right. Last but not least, because I'll have to do the ratings another time. I did kind of want to bring up a little bit of what I saw True Geordie say, because I doubt maybe he will have me on the show maybe one day, 2000 when he gets over all of his Liverpool hate, but he doesn't have anyone that represents Liverpool on his show anymore, actually, which is kind of interesting. His show, The Kickoff, it's one of the shows I actually frequent that show quite a bit, especially when Lawrence McKenna was a part of it. But now his show is frequented by Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United supporters, and obviously himself as a Newcastle supporter. But some of the rants he's taken at, and some of the cheap shots I think he's taken at Isak have been pretty low brow. Some would say it's basically bitterness, maybe anger, total disrespect. You can see the fact of like how he ends up totally, when put out there about how this transfer window went, he was angry about how the fact that they're not able, despite having the richest owners in the Premier League, they're not able to just spend freely and freely with their money. They have to stay within PSR rules and FFP rules. That's just all part of the game, unfortunately. Otherwise, we might as well have a super league, in essence, of the haves and the have-nots. But I'll say this. Do you think there will ever be a day when Isak is appreciated, or not accepted, but appreciated by Newcastle, or is he completely burned? Is that bridge burned down to ashes? Is it done? Because he's made he made some great comments, but I mean, Isak made some very humbling comments.
When you say that, I actually just want to double back to something you said earlier on Salah chastising people on Lucho and Nunes. I think one of the things that we probably forget, or some of us don't acknowledge, the footballers are people too, and they actually like one another. And some of their teammates are actually their brothers in arms. Literally, their families eat together. They probably go to church or whatever, cinema, picnics, those sort of things together. So when there's a loss in terms of a player leaving, because there are a couple, I think there was one in particular, I can't remember if it was Shah or one of them, that sent a message to Isak basically saying, well, good luck, brother. So in the same way that Mo was saying, all right, guys, we don't have to belittle players that were here before, big them up as they're gone and appreciate it. Yeah, you know what I mean? So he's saying, I know that our careers are short. We know this as players, that tomorrow we could get a tackle and that's the end of that, and we're gone. The fans, the club, everyone says thanks, bye, but we're just done and dusted. So, you have to do what you have to do, and you get what you have to get. You don't like the situation and the circumstances. I don't like it still. I mean, as much as I'm looking forward to seeing him play for us, I don't like that it went to the level that it went to and what happened. Whether or not he'll be, I guess, appreciated in Newcastle depends on what you consider Newcastle to be. Is that player, club, fans? So there will be fans that would say, yeah, he did well, and they were happy to see him play for however long he played. But then they'll say, well, bun him because he did what he did. Much like how some of our fans said Trent's a rat and Coutinho's a this and that, or Suarez is a this or that, or whichever player you want to name that we thought was kind of like the next in line to save us, and they left. Some of us would have treated them similarly, but then there are others who would say, yeah, man, you appreciate that no one's here for ever. The club is the club that you support. That guy was there for a period of time and you support him for that period of time. It's easier to say that because we're the recipient as opposed to the ones who felt it. Yeah. And we know how it feels when we felt it. But I think some of it's extreme. Some of the writing and the lies that have been spread about Isak are terrible.
I mean,
terrible, man.
True Geordie called Isak a little kid, called him a spoiled brat. These are quotes, by the way. He even said he wouldn't care if Isak suffered a career-ending injury.
Like, that just shows who's the kid in the situation there, doesn't it, though? Who's the kid in the situation here?
You're real butthurt, man, on that one.
Yeah, grow up, man. Grow up. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff to say.
I might not like, or I'm happy to see leave the club because they just weren't a fit or they just weren't this or that. But I wouldn't wish them injury. He even accused Liverpool of playing a dirty transfer game, conspiring with journalists and sneaking their way to the deal. What I was going to say is, could it be that a way for Isak to be at least somewhat appreciated could be that, for the most part, the 120 million, what was it? It was like, what did we spend? 100. How much exactly did we spend?
125, I think it is. I think it's 125, and then he paid them 5, so that's like 130.
It's 125. That's it. Simple put. Get the 130.
Yeah, we paid 125, and he gave them 5 million back. So it's they got 130 in total.
Oh yeah, because of he gave him back something with this loyalty deal or something like that.
Yeah, like 5 point something million in loyalty bonuses. So we paid 125.
So which is pretty low, by the way. But
you think that's low?
For them to take away, usually if you put in for a transfer, that's when you get your loyalty bonus taken away from you. He never put in for a transfer.
He never actually did, yeah.
So
when you say, sorry, just to understand, when you say it's low, do you mean it's low from them as a club, or do you mean it's low in terms of a figure? Low. I just wanted
I thought it was low for them to take it from him.
Oh,
that was like kind of like that seemed like them being spiteful of the
yeah, fully though. But that's kind of his way of freeing himself as well. He's saying, well, look, you know what? No one can say I took anything from you. Basically, here, have that back as well. I'm done with you. Have that back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, it could be. I don't know who initiated that portion of the negotiation, but you're right. Maybe it is me taking a little bit of a leap to say that it was like Newcastle that initiated that. They didn't have to accept it. Obviously, they could have been like, "No, you keep your let's just part ways. This is our agreement, and that's it." But what I was going to say is this: is that with the difference could be, or a pathway towards some type of redemption or some type of acceptance or true appreciation. I don't expect them to give them the key to Newcastle or something, but as many of us that didn't appreciate or didn't like the way that Coutinho pivoted or tried to maneuver towards his exit from the team, it was the sheer fact that we got 137. I think it ended up being like 137 million euros or something like that.
It depends who you ask. 142, I think, was a number that was muted at one point.
Yeah. I know 142 was. I did see. I remember Hylor posted something about the fact that technically it was registered as 116 million. That we actually got those a lot. Maybe some of that was like add-ons and the likes.
Because there was some sort of debt issue that they had as well, and receivership and some sort of nonsense as well.
Right. We never got the full 142, I think, basically. But
oh no, it's on it.
But what I was trying to get at, is at least, let's say it's 142. I'll be willing to go 142. So let's say it's 142 million. With that 142 million, we were able to securely cover our are transfers of Ali and Virgil van Dijk, who later became two crucial spines of our club. Now, the one thing I've been stressing is that Newcastle had to utilize that money by paying it on Walter-Made and Visa, because it equals out to about 100. One was 65 and one was 55, so it's about 120 million. It's like 5 million short of what we ended up, right? So they made if you want to do a net spend on it, it's basically they made 5 million off of the Isak deal. But yet the two players that are connected to that deal are Visa and Walter Mady. If those two players go on to win them something, or those two players go on to be influential portions of parts of their club, obviously more so Walter Mady than Visa, because he'd probably have a longer potential career at Newcastle than Visa. Then all of a sudden, maybe they're not so butthurt over it. Maybe they can look at it and say, well, yeah, we got rid of a player that didn't want to be here, but yet we ended up benefiting and getting two great signatures, or two good signatures. Could that not be the case? Or is that too romanticizing it or something? Stop. You say end the stream? Is that what someone said? I don't know.
It all depends on who you are, because there's a bunch of fans who are going to say Liverpool bullied Newcastle, Liverpool pulled their pants down, it was 150 and we only spent 125. Because you know how it becomes this game of numbers that it's all lies anyway, because 150 was never a real number.
But suddenly
it became a number.
Again, it's Newcastle PR. That's all it is. Newcastle
True Geordie fella rambling on incoherently about how bad we've been. But I'd like to think that the wider Newcastle fan base, aren't as pathetic as him. You are that dickhead. Stand up, True Geordie. You're a fake.
Tell us how you really feel, Lee. Tell us how you really feel.
I know I heard him going on, and he went up one avenue and then just jumped into it. You couldn't make sense of it, really. He was going on that madly. It's what the fuck's he on about here? He brought up weird comparisons and stupid comparisons instantly, which made him look like a knob, but he carried on regardless, which is quite funny.
I do think, and I agree, Adam, I do think Walter Made is going to be a good player. I think he's got the potential to be a good player. But he is a project.
The other funny part was all of a sudden Liverpool fans became sporting directors for Newcastle. Oh, buy this fella, buy that fella, buy this fella, buy that fella. Here's a fella, here's a fella.
If you saw the record, they had 8 players say, nah, I'm all right. I'm all set.
No thanks. I'll head over to Old Trafford. I'll head over to Old Trafford and take my chances over there first.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? That as bad as the situation has become, ultimately the lure of Old Trafford is still going to be bigger than Newcastle. And I think that's a and again, without sounding disrespectful, it's a levels thing. Because if I ask each of you in here who's going to win the league next between Newcastle United and Manchester United, who are you going to pick? Seriously speaking, you'd say Manchester United, right?
Yeah.
So as much as United, the Manx finished 15th, and Newcastle finished in Champions League positions, the lure of playing at Old Trafford is different to St. James's Park. And this isn't me trying to disparage the club in any way. I'm just saying, look at Mbeumo. He said, my dream was to play at Old Trafford. Now, we might say, yeah, that's Old Trafford when Schmeichel was playing and not now that Onana's playing, but it was still your dream, and that's where more players are likely to be than they are for, say, playing at St. James's Park. That's just the reality of the situation, isn't it?
I think there was more, and Lante and Lee can weigh in too on this. I think it was more for, at least from my perspective, I believe it was more about the way that they treated Isak. Despite what everyone wants to say, a lot of journalists had put it as, oh, it's all about Isak, all about Isak. Because, again, the broadcast I saw from True Geordie was him talking about, oh, well, he's like, Isak was horrible the way he went about his getting his transfer. He should have done it the way Gahey and Eze have done it, which is still put on the shirt and play out the games and I'm sitting there going like, aren't you about to get Visa, who did the exact same thing as Isak?
Yeah, but you heard what Alan Shearer said. It's different. Visa and Isak are the same but different. But different. It's the same but different. I said, look at you, you hypocrite. You said it's the same. You said it's the same, but it's different. I said it's only different because of the profile.
Right.
That's all you're saying. It's only different because it's you losing one and gaining one. Because
that makes no sense. Then also not only is it
someone
about,
else. I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, I was just
Sorry.
while you get your train of thought. If you do, just chime in. I was just gonna say that why. So not only is it the fact that for those reasons, the treatment of Isak and the likes, and the fact of this player had a gentleman's agreement or whatever it had, all those different cases, and how he's being treated. That could be, if they're doing that to Isak, one of their greatest players. Do you think that you would be any different? You get treated even any remotely with kinder gloves, you're out of your mind. But also, I think it could be the case of the fact that you going to Manchester United, you'll end up with a Rashford deal. You'll end up with a Casado style deal. Whether you're old or whether you're a young talent, you'll end up with $300,000 a week contract. You're not ending up with that kind of. One of the major reasons why, or one of the reasons that's been reported that Isak fell out of favor of Newcastle was because he was also promised some major advances in his salary, and that never came about because they couldn't afford it. To stay within the means of PSR, they couldn't afford it. Not saying that their owners are poor. I'm just saying that they couldn't figure out how to get him the salary that he was going to require to stay a Newcastle player and be happy.
Oh no, I think they could have. They just chose not to. There's ways and means going around it. They just chose not to. Amanda, Paul Mitchell, whoever it was. That's it. That's it, really. In my opinion, I just think they just chose not to for whatever reason, and then hence he is where he is. He is where he's at now.
Okay. You make a mistake though. If you quote unquote value somebody at this mythical 150 million, he can't be on 120 grand a week or something like that.
Exactly.
There's no, you know what I mean? So I can't be valued at 150 and only getting paid 120 a week. So that salary needs to be closer to 400,000 to be honest, at 150. If the valuation's 150, you're looking at closer to 400k. So whether they could have swung 400k and then still fit in under PSR or whatever, I don't know. Whether they wanted to, I don't know. Whether it was promised, I don't know. At some point, to me, is one of those ones where there's three sides of the story. There's their side, there's his side, and then there's a truth somewhere in the middle. At this point, you know what? The truth for us is he's our number 9 and he needs to score some goals. That's the truth. Get fit, score a ton of goals, and give us something else to talk about other than the saga that was how we ended up with you being our number 9.
Hey, we might see
we're the number 9 with pride and bag some goals.
We might see that happen. I think that we are going to see him play in the Burnley game. I think we will see him play in the Burnley game.
Yes, please.
because I understand that he might not be 90 minutes fit, but it's not that he's working his way back from injury or something along those lines where they have to kind of like be protective of the player. He's just a player that needs to get game time.
20 minutes, 70-20. That's my split. That's
Okay.
my split.
Okay, I can see
But
that.
then Hugo should have a brace. But then Hugo should have his brace and come off to loud applause, and Isak can go on and grab one, and we'll come home from turf more. See how you're smiling now, 12, just like that, fully smiling.
Let's get a clean sheet.
Are you going? Are you
100% that
another Dusek and goals from Mohamed Salah?
I'll be honest with you, 12. I don't care so much about Mo's goals this season. I want him to be second, third on the list for goals. He can be second, third on the list for assists. If that's what the numbers are. So think about this. If Mo Salah is second or third in both goals and assists on our team, do you know how many goals and assists we're gonna have as a team? We'll be killing it.
I got to ask the question: who do I think is going to score more goals, Salah or Isak? And I said,
that's a no-brainer for me. Has to be Isak.
Yeah,
no doubt.
It has to be Isak. But and I think that the way that Salah will be appeased at him not being the Golden Boot winner would be him being having a good number of those assists and being possibly the top assist maker in the league. I think that'll suffice to him, to his legacy. But I know he does want to score goals. He will get his goals. I guess that's why. Do you keep him on pens, by the way?
If I keep him on pens?
Yeah. Or
Isak takes pens. Does Isak take pens?
Isak takes pens. He takes pens.
Yeah. He does pens. Yeah.
Well,
Salah can come off the pens. Salah needs to come off the pens. Yeah. Thank you for your service, but no more.
Listen, they can have a tournament in training. Here you go. There's 5 each. Go. Who wait? That's the shootout. Here you go.
Out right there. Yeah.
As soon as you come out for international duty, come here. Look, 2 of you line up. There's the ball. Take 5 each. Who's 5 for 5? You take the next bet. So if Mo goes 5 for 5 and Isak goes 4 for 5, Mo gets the next one.
There you go. He gets it. Wow, a lot of pressure. But yeah, Isak does take pens. Dom takes pens too. Man. Dom takes pens as well. Dom's very good.
Dom's free kicks. We've seen what Dom is. Dom's 30 yards out. We don't need him from 12.
Yeah, 25.
30, yeah. Oh, go over there. That's you. That's you.
I
over
mean,
there.
I was actually advocating for Maka to be our penalty kick taker, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Max got a good record.
Solid pen taker
with us, I think. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't lose a penalty shootout in the event that we end up in a situation where there's a need for penalties, we should be covered then.
Oh, I mean, you
just named 4 comfortably. Our striker, our deadly midfielder, our Mac 10, and the king himself. That's 4 already. Some people will tell you Verge is a dead cert from the penalty spot as well, and Mr. Kepa can remember that one. I can see that every time I close my eyes. I can see that one.
I wanted Verge to take our free kicks.
No.
Direct kicks.
No, 12. He's out of practice. He hasn't done that for a while. I know he's got a good strong foot, but he hasn't done that for a long while.
He has done it. It's not like he hasn't done it.
No, he's done it. He's done it, but he hasn't done it for a while.
He was interviewed because of his accuracy and success at doing it. The goalkeeper for Wrexham, what's his name?
Wrexham.
He might not be this year, but he was the goalkeeper last year for Wrexham. He does like podcasts and the likes.
Oh, Ben
Foster. Ben
Foster.
Okay. Yeah. Ben Foster. Yeah.
He did an interview with Virgil van Dijk at AXA. Like they're in the they're in that portion of the facility where they had like the basketball court, and he was asked the question of like, oh, well, you've taken penalty kicks. And he's like, you ever think about going back to that? And he's like, oh, well, we have a great penalty kick taker at the time, was in Arnold. But he's like, but he said how much he would love to. I'm just saying. He didn't deny that he's good at it. Just saying. And then on top of that, if you do have that player as being the penalty kick taker, then you're allowed to free up another player to be a part of the attack, maybe. Nobody's with me on that one other than myself. I'm alone on that.
No, right. You're alone. You're on that hill by yourself.
Alone on that one. It's all good. I'll stick to just putting him. I put him on as my free kick taker on my FIFA. How about that? I pull my video.
There you go.
I'll keep him there. Oh man. Well, big up to the KMAC raid I saw earlier that boosted our numbers. Hopefully, if you are new to the channel, you'll subscribe to the channel. If not, we still do appreciate your support by hitting the like button. And maybe you might not be subscribed to Bayesian Red's channel as well, but if you don't know, now you do. That Bayesian Pops, a key member of that squad, is got it locked down over there. They've got a little bit of the Caribbean spice going on. Got a little kick to it. It's got a little kick to it. There you go.
Big up 12.
And Nalante Lee, big up. You guys have always been great contributors to the panel, and I appreciate your time today. Is there anything you guys want to talk about real quick before we bounce? Is there any subject that we didn't cover maybe or something like that? Do you want to maybe talk about something that was already covered, meaning like the Chiesa snub, or maybe you want to talk about, I don't know.
What was Newcastle's final result before the break when we played Arsenal? Who did they play?
0-0 draw, I think, wasn't it?
0 draw.
Yeah, Leeds.
Yeah.
Leeds.
They
So
want Leeds. That's not much for them, is it? A 0-0 with Leeds. They'll be automatic and cure that.
They so far they have 2 points on the season so far out of 9.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not going to get relegated. They might not have a
12.
I'm not trying to troll.
I'm not gonna do it.
Hyler had a question for you in the chat. He said, what was it? Do we still have a team that will allow us to play with a high defense line?
Let me see, where is it? How far up is it?
That was further back up.
Okay, let's see where it is. See the visa. We have now 3 players. Let's see. Waltemade. Looking for it. 3. The numbers, Isak. Oh, it must have been way up there.
Yeah, it was way back. Yeah.
Still looking for it. So, but the question is, do we have the players to play a high line? Basically, is that basically the premise?
Yeah. That was the question. Yeah. Do we still have a team that will allow us to play with a high defense line?
I think that we do, because of the players that we have on our wings have the legs to get back and provide coverage. Oh, that was way back there.
We had 2 higher lines sometimes, like in Klopp's final years. I thought we were 2 high up the pitch sometimes, but it meant there were loads of bloody replays, didn't it? Because we kept like catching teams, but and sometimes they'd show like an offside move as a highlight, and you're like, well, it was offside from the beginning. Why is this a highlight on the highlights package? but it was too high sometimes up the line under Klopp.
For the times we've gotten caught, and I know Pops likes to look at tactics. I know Nolante is very, tactically minded. I know Lee likes to look at those things too. But the times that we've been caught, whether it was Bournemouth, whether it was the goals against other than, because the one goal was a set piece goal. It wasn't really us getting caught from having a high line against Newcastle. But the other goal, though, the second goal was us getting caught by being too advanced and having to have Gravenberch, track back and try to, and in essence, Konate being out of position, I think, truthfully, being caught up and being turned enough by a very good forward. But what I would say for the high defensive line is it all depends if you have confidence in, I think, Ibu and Konate's connection anymore. Because often we're often seeing a back line where, because Kirkes wants to go forward, and he's not able to, he's been forced to kind of be a part of that back line to help provide some type of coverage. And they were certainly trying to take advantage of that. Even the Arsenal game, they were trying to take advantage of that. I thought, however, he possibly played one of his better defensive games. I think it's possibly his best defensive game. I would go as far as to say out of the three. If he can play that level, I think we'll be okay. Frimpong the same. I think Frimpong has shown some decent ability on the defensive line. Do you guys have a different opinion?
It's tricky because the problem is Frimpong and Kirkes, as much as he played well defensively, he struggles a bit with pacey wingers. So, and yeah, Virgil, it's a difficult one. I mean, it depends on certain games who we're playing, if I'm honest. I think certain games will probably be caught out of with the high line. And it's not a this season thing, it's a last season thing as well. But it's just that we've got away with it by pushing the line up or Allison, etc. So it really all depends, really. But I think that's something we'll have to tweak for what games we are playing against and who the opposition is. I believe, but not all the time. Not all the time, definitely not.
Okay. Do you think? What's your answer, Lee?
To the question on screen.
Yeah, about the high line, about our ability to play it.
I'm just waiting for me bloody arrows to disappear so I can see all of it. I can only see the top line.
I'll tell you. It says, do we still have a team that will allow us to play with a high defensive line, basically?
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose we do. Depends how much we want to do it, to what extent Slot wants to do it. But yeah, I mean, it works, doesn't it? Like, worked under Klopp to compress the space and then, close people down. And we still do it. Just do it a bit differently at times, don't we? So, yeah, we can still have a high line if we want with Ibu and Virgil. Virgil's maybe lost a bit of the pace that he had, a tiny bit of it. But Ibu hasn't. He's still got loads of pace once he gets going.
Okay. Let's see. We don't get a lot of pens, by the way. We don't.
Nope. I think the high line is, as we like to say, horses for courses. We will see a lot of low blocks as champions, so there's going to be a lot of frustration for us as fans watching. So we're going to need to. What we used to do really well was compress the pitch and pinch the ball from them in the final third. A lot of teams are now just either skipping past the press or going long into the channels and making us turn and run back. The 2 goals that you mentioned, one was diabolical to me. You can't be beaten by one long punt up the middle of the pitch. That's diabolical. I'm sorry. And then the one against Bournemouth, I was lost, to be honest, because we had way too many players in the attack, lost possession basically, and our defenders and defensive midfielder were basically in their box when we lost possession. So they were never going to catch the menu on the way back. That's, to me, just an error in judgment on our part, not necessarily something where you're saying you're blaming the high line specifically. So again, I'll repeat the statement, 12. Eyes are on Mr. Locke. My eyes are firmly fixed on the man in the dugout, on the touchline in training. He's the man under scrutiny for me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm expecting a lot, so I'm looking to him.
Okay. I was going to try to answer this question, and there's another question as well, real quick.
I think Hyler had another one, right?
I started that one. Oh, that was Adam had a question. Salah had never played in AFCON. Would he have been close to breaking the Premier League goal record by now? I don't think no. I think that's a no.
No.
Simply because I know it does in most people's minds, it does seem like, oh, he's missing a month or he's missing a good number of games. In 2021, he missed 7 games. In 2024, he missed 5 games. That's a total of 12 games. If you want to average that, I think he averages like 0.5 or 0.6 goals a game when over his whole stint of playing for Liverpool. Obviously, he would have been affected by who we're going up against and the likes. You know, if we're going up against a higher quality team, it would have been possibly different. But let's just say it's 0.6. You got 12 goals, 12 games to do it. That would have been, at most, it would have been an additional 6-7 goals, maybe. So that's pretty much what you're missing out on. So I don't think the additional 6, let's call it 8 goals. How about that? 6 to 8 goals across that span of 12 games would have made that much of a difference. At least that's my perspective.
Agree.
Okay, I'm not answering the Beavis and Butthead one. I don't know about that one. But I will bring up the Hylor one too. May suggest a question for later for the panel. He says, how do you feel about our squad depth at the moment? Because you know what? I will admit there are people out there that have really been putting it. There are especially our rivals and our neutrals expect it. But the narrative that's being pushed is that our window has not been an A+ window since we didn't get Gahey. And as much as I can understand that Gahey would have helped us in our depth when it comes to our center halves, I still have to put our window at a very high rating, despite it not including Gahey. Would you guys say different? Because a lot of people are using Gahey as like, Liverpool have so much left to do. They didn't get Gahey. So their team has got holes in it, and and the likes.
It depends on, and if you're being honest, if you at the beginning of the window said the centre back is the key, I mean, hindsight is 20/20 because God rest Jota's soul and his brother's soul, you wouldn't have anticipated that to happen. So people would have said, all right, we're going to get one striker because Nunes is going to leave. Most people wouldn't have had Lucho going through the door. So they would have said, all right, I want a striker, I want a midfielder, and I want a centre back. So let's say that's their 3 wishes. that person that had those 3 wishes, as much as we got 6 or 7 or whatever, I can't remember. We've got tons of players, to be honest, because we got a couple goalkeepers. So if you add the goalkeepers, he might still say, well, of the 3 I wanted, I only got 1. So it depends on who you ask. I mean, you flip it to somebody else and you say, well, we signed Wirtz. Okay, just signing Wirtz made it an A+, because when have we ever been able to sign that player in Wirtz? And then you add Isak, that's a 10 for some people. Some people say, well, it's a 10 out of 10 because we just added 2 of the best players in arguably top 5, whatever number you want to say across the world in those 2 positions. Right. But then it becomes, you're now greedy. You're the rich kids at Christmas and saying, oh, I got the Xbox or the PlayStation 6, but I only got 1 controller and 1 game. I should have had 2 controllers and I should have had 2 games. So it's one of those ones. If you give a man $1 million, he would say, oh, I could do it too, though. You know what I mean? Thanks for the $1 million, but give me 2.
Right.
I think the window's good. He would have made it. And what's funny to me is I don't remember anyone saying that he was as good as he's now being perceived to be. I could be wrong, but I don't remember having discussions where his name was a name that came up. When we were linked with Howson, it was, oh yeah, that kid at Bournemouth, he's really good, 50 million, let's get him or whatever. I don't remember and again, Nalante, this is one of my favorite sayings. If the cap fits, make them wear it. So when I say something and it isn't for you, then let it. You know what I mean? So you like Joey G, so I could see you saying that he's somebody that was on your radar already. I could see that easily, without you saying it. I could see you saying, you know what? Yeah, because I can see a similarity. But he wasn't a player that had as high a profile. All of a sudden, I heard someone saying, well, he's clearly the best centre-back that England has. And I said, I've never heard that before, because it was John Stones by a long, long way. Everybody felt John Stones was that guy because he could move into the midfield and he could do this and that and whatever. So maybe it's just a perception because of how the transfer saga went. So there's a disappointment in not signing the player who you built up this idea that he would be our player, and then it fell through at the 11th hour. So there's a natural disappointment. Plus, there's some of our fans who've written off Ibu as well and said he's rubbish, he's garbage, his head is in Madrid, so we should sell him anyway. So there are those ones who would have had Ibu basically through the door before you even had Gehi in the door.
Right.
Are we short in centre back? Maybe. And again, it's if Ibu gets hurt, if Virgil goes down, and he said it, do we have enough to cover? Maybe. I don't know. It would have been ideal to say he's here, so now Virgil can get rest or whatever. But you said it again. How often do you rest the players? So if he were here, similar to the midfield where we had the discussion just now, if Gehi lands, do we suddenly saying, Ibu's done? Because for some people, Ibu's done already. Prior to Arsenal, I heard people saying, we should play somebody else because Ibu's garbage. He had 2 bad games and his head's in Madrid. Let Leone start against Arsenal or do something else because he shouldn't play against Arsenal. Right. Then it was, he had a really good game. Well done.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on the fact of before we were linked to Gehi, there weren't shouts from the very start of the window. There weren't like, the center half of choice for us is Gehi. We need to go for Gehi.
Yeah,
we all knew he was coming up on a contract, on the last year of a contract. We all knew that. That was no secret. So for Hoyston was the choice, I thought, by a landslide. Hoyston was the player that we were supposed to try to get, or at least the player that was our number one. And after that, I don't know who it was. I like to believe some of the rumors that Bastoni was involved in one of those cases. I can't go that far.
No. But let's play the game then. if we start HE22 Hugo, we got Isak on the bench. Just right now today, because Isak isn't fully fit. We got Isak on the bench, we got Rio on the bench, we got Chiesa on the bench for the front three.
Mm-hmm.
If you go Verts, Gravenberch, and Mac 10, then you've got Lungs on the bench, you got CJ on the bench, and you got the Gorgon on the bench. And if you go with Bradders, Ibu, VVD, and Kirkes, that means you've got Frimpong on the bench, you got Joey G on the bench, and you've got Robbo on the bench, with Leone probably sort of off to the side because he's the new kid on the block. And then you've got Mamadashvili as well behind Allison. Are you saying to me that that's not enough?
Now the balance.
You can be greedy. You can be greedy and say it isn't, but
no, I wouldn't be greedy to say it isn't. But I would say possibly the balance could be better.
Better. Yeah.
I've seen sometimes some of this. For instance, when we were in that, I know it's on the Community Shield, but I'm just using it as an example. In that, or I think also in Newcastle game too. But if you look at sometimes our bench, out of the 9 players on our bench,
we had 4 defenders. I think it was.
Yeah, like 5 defensive players.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like maybe 1 or 2, but rarely do you sub out the center halves in a game unless they're injured.
Correct.
So those 2 players are probably playing the entire game. The right back, left back, that's you might be able to do something like that, but still, the midfielders, there's, I'd say basically I would like that to be a goalkeeper and then having 5 offensive style players and then 3 defensive minded players on the bench. That would be like the makeup I would probably go with.
Got you.
That, and be like having maybe 2 forwards and then maybe 3 midfielders basically that are more offensive minded. And then having so that's what, and then having more of a having defenders, obviously, that the defense would be 1 goalkeeper, and then also having maybe some type of coverage for either Gomez, which would be ideal because then you could have a right back, left back.
That's the
coverage.
versatile one. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, if not a center half coverage. So I saw Hylor's comment about, he says he argued that Liverpool maybe don't have a top 3 bench in the Premier League. I'd argue to say I'd be interested to see who's ahead of us.
I think Arsenal have got themselves some good depth, but again, I'm saying to you,
I'm not disputing that.
If we've got McAllister sat next to Isak on the bench, sat next to, and you said 2 attackers, so it's either Chiesa or Rio, so pick one. So let's say it's Rio because everybody's in love with Rio. So we got Rio, Isak, and Mac 10 on the bench, and we're down in the game, and the coach says 3 of you warm up, and I'm sending you on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure there are many teams that have 3 better options than that. I've started Ekitike, so I just said Isak on the bench because I've started Ekitike as it currently stands. Because as Hyla says here, the Swedish national coach admitted that Isak is far from ready for 90 minutes. So I'm going on the premise that he's not going to be fit. So, but imagine you're playing us, it's 60 minutes in, it's still 0-0, and they pan to the bench and you see young Rio, Isak, and Mac 10 stretching. You're saying to yourself, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't know if I agree with I think our bench is a pretty solid bench. It's just a matter of like what's your confidence in. I get that many people might not. It's maybe because we haven't seen Leone play, so maybe that's not a confidence builder. But I still have much confidence in the fact that Gomez could fill in for various roles, and then who else is? I think
you still got CJ and Dom who can play various roles as well.
Exactly. I think Cujo, Dom, Your bench would be Cujo, Dom. If Ekitiki's starting, then Isak on the bench. Cujo, Dom, Isak, Curtis. Chiesa. Who else would be on the bench? Then
that's 5, right? You have 2 up front, 3 in the mid. That's 5. Keepers 6. And
I'll
you
go.
need 3
It'll be
more.
easier if I go in positions. So
So
up front
from top to bottom then.
And Isak.
Yeah.
Ekitiki starting. Chiesa and Isak are the
Right.
2.
Okay.
I've included Rio in that for right now.
Okay.
And then for the midfield, it would be Curtis Jones, Endo, and Dom. That's 5.
Right.
And then for your back line, it would be Gomez, Leone.
Brothers has to be on the bench, or Frimpong has to be on the bench.
Exactly. And Bradley he would be back there. And Robbo would be back there.
I don't think you can have all of them because you said it's 9. You got a keeper.
That's 9.
Because you got 5, so you only got 3. You only have 3 at the back. Based on what you wanted just now, it's only 3 you can pick. So it's 3 from those.
One of
5.
those 3 we cut.
Or 4, sorry. Yeah.
So
because you went 2, 3, and then you've got a keeper, so you need 3 more.
Right.
And I think it goes down to 2. I think it's down to 2 at defenders. I think you add Rio as an attacker and you go 2 with the defenders. So let's say it's Frimpong and Joey G, Robbo and Leone miss out at some point. I think at some point you're at that position where or Chiesa misses out because it's Robbo. So again, you're struggling with numbers.
I think
Leone's gone for sure. No, he's gone for sure.
I think
he's gone for sure.
It would be Bradley. It would be Bradley, Gomez, and Robbo as your 3 defensive coverage, and then it would be, and then you'd have 6 spots, and then you obviously have to have Mamardashvili as your goalkeeper. So
that's your last one. That's your 9 then.
Right. That's 4. That's your 4 for your defense, and then now you have to go 3 and 2 for your midfield
for your 9.
You have your Dom.
So at some point, Chiesa and or Rio's missing out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why when you say we don't have one of the best, I think, and then imagine this. What if Guéhi did get signed?
There you go.
If Guéhi was a part of this team, it would mean that you're dropping Gomez. A lot of people like his versatility. It means you're dropping Robbo. At least he's the most experienced left back that we have, experienced player in the back line, much less experience for left back that we have on the team. You're dropping Bradley? Probably not. And then again, you're forced to go with 4 defensive-minded players. And now that means you're going to have to cut one of your midfielders. One of your midfielders or possibly even one of your forwards. And that's not what you want to do. Is how many times have we been saying that the reason why we're looking for Isak to get involved or us to get another forward is because Isak's our only forward on our team, our outright striker on our team, outright center forward on the team. I think we have one of the strongest benches. It's difficult it's just now players are going to be cut. It's what not only Pep said, but Arne Slot said himself. He's perplexed at the fact that he's going to have the roster that he does because there's going to be good players that aren't going to make the team sheets.
Yep. It's going to be difficult decisions to be made, isn't it?
It's going to be very difficult decisions to make. And that's exactly, circle back, that's exactly why when I hear all this talk about, oh, well, we need to go get, the Whartons and the Balebas and we need to bring in Guéhi. I'm like, fantastic. Who are you cutting? Who is getting dropped? Because we all have a consensus of who the starting 11 most likely should be. who is getting cut? Because someone is not making this bench. Even with 9 players, they're not making bench. Maybe with the Champions League, because I think Champions League is 12 players when it comes to Champions League.
Yeah, it's practically 12.
You got a few more.
But I mean, that's a little bit easier to kind of put extra players.
You pad it out. Yeah, you can pad it all the way out.
Now all of a sudden, you can pad it out. But for the majority of games in the Prem, majority of games for FA Cup and the likes, we have a 9-man bench. And that means we just went through the numbers. Some of those players are getting cut. It means that come January, if we do go back in for Gahey, another player will not see minutes or won't be even have the opportunity to see minutes.
I don't. The Gahey thing, I doubt it. Unless we have injuries to Ibu, PVD, because at the end of the day, he's not going to come there and sit bench. That's the thing. And we can talk about, and like you said, you mainly about the squad numbers and players missing out. That happens, that's fine. But the most important thing is some of these players are used to rotation. Not 10 minutes, not 15 minutes, but used for certain games. That is what I'm looking at, because what's the point otherwise? Yeah, you can do the 10 minutes, but that's not going to benefit these players. Like I said, to go back to last season, I don't care if you're Mo Salah, sometimes these players need to be rested or dropped. They're not having a good and play another player. That's what I want to see from Slot, to use the squad to the best abilities. Everyone's saying, oh yeah, but this, and we won the league, cool, no problem. Even though he should have still done it, but you can say that, fine, no problem. You've got certain players you wanted in or out. You've got your squad, so use the squad to the best of the ability. If you want the best chance for this football club to do even more things this season, that's all I'm saying, and that's all I want to see. Not just I've got him. Oh yeah, I wanted to keep him, and then you don't see for 6 months or 10-minute here, 15-minute there. This is what I'm saying, and it's like, for instance, Endo. For instance, no, I wasn't the biggest Endo fan. I was never. He's not one of my first top list. Now again. But you give every chance, and people say, and each to their own. People say Endo's not good enough, and he's this and that. Each to their own. But let me tell you something. Look at his body of work. Show me your body of work. And he's done bits coming in.
How many losses do we have of Endo when Endo's a part of the team?
No, Tom, it's not even just that. It's not even just the losses. I'll go to them. Sorry, yeah.
That is a pretty definitive statistic to have associated with you.
No, that's fair enough, Top. That's your guy, and yeah,
that's my guy. Yeah.
But my thing is, show me your body of work, and he's come in and he's done games. He's done the job for us, and that's what a squad is. Come on, we're not saying Endo start every league game, but no, come and do the job with us, because as good as Grant, as good as Max Sobel, he's better defensively than all of them. He is a DM. He can sense danger better than the 3 of them. That's not being paid. It's just a fact. He's an actual DM, and that's all we're saying. Use the squad to your best of your ability for this squad to go even further. That is it. But we'll see. I'm just sitting close by. We'll see if he does or not. People
that weren't Endo fans, as much as they weren't Endo fans, I know, because every opportunity they get, they're all ready to throw him under the bus. Some, not all, but some. Matt, but I would go as far as to say, when it comes to Endo, when Endo was given the opportunity to be a regular starter, he performed excessively well for us, actually, to be honest with you. If it wasn't for the injury that he picked up in that League Cup final, he probably would have continued on to be the starter for us going forward, because he ended up doing what I always said he was doing. KJ could be my witness to this. I said that Endo is not the best DM in the world, by no means. But what he does do is he is one of the best supporting actors in the presentation. And what I mean by that is Trent Alexander-Arnold is at the time was a star. Was one of the stars of our team. It could have been Dominik Szoboszlai, or it could have been Grab as being one of the stars that were meant to be the highlighted feature in our attack, in our presentation, in our show, in the Liverpool show. Okay, but one of the best players that isn't looking to be the spotlight, isn't looking to always, hog up all the space, but is going to do the dirty work. That was Endo. Endo was going to be the one that quick link passes, or would go in and take a necessary yellow card, without thinking, how am I going to play after I pick up this foul? That kind of player is sometimes essential to have. And he was very essential for us. And I think a lot of what we are trying to do, which is allow for other players to go forward. We keep talking about how we want all these other players and these pivots and stuff to go forward. But one way to allow for players to go forward is to have someone stay back. Endo is a qualified enough player to be able to hold it down while a Grab goes forward, while a Dom goes forward, while a Maka goes forward. That's how I look at Endo's performance, and occasionally mixing it up and him going forward every once in a blue moon to keep the defense, or keep the defense on their toes. And he's done that. He's scored goals for us like that. So, but all good. I'm still hoping that he that rumor was true, that he handed out the mouth guards or the gum shields to people on there. But peace out, Lucky. Peace out, Lucky. We're going to be ending the stream here anyway. On a good note. Talking about Endo is good. Always good. Please drop your comments, your votes in the polls. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to this show, please do. Hit the like button as well. If you haven't subscribed to Beige and Red Show, please go over and subscribe to their channel, their channel, I should say. We only have one individual from the channel on our show currently, but it is the Beige and crew. So please do go over and subscribe to Beige and Reds if you haven't done already.
Go.
Big up 12.
Big up to Pops. Big up to Nalante, and big up to Lee. Do you have something coming up later on today or something, by the way? Pops?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay. So
yeah.
Check out the
check out the notification bell. Tomorrow's the call-in show, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, that's big time.
If you're around after dark, for us at least anyhow, and it's way after dark in the UK, because that's going to start at 8 p.m. our time, which is probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, if I'm right.
Yeah, you get to mix it up with the superstars of the internet, stars of the Caribbean. All right,
Get some wild takes and some back and forth.
Yeah, there's some crazy people jump on the call. Don't worry. So
yeah,
you can join the Dom.
Good show. It's a great show.
Join the crazies. Come over.
Join the crazies that I'd like to definitely.
Hey, Pops, maybe you have the guy that had the dig at Diaz and Nunes come on the show and come and forgive of his sins.
Oh goodness! Big up again to K-Mac for the raid earlier.
Big up K-Mac.
And also big up to you in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you, especially those that were with us for the entire time. I see a lot of you that have been here since the jump. We're at 3 hours mark. We're going to end it here right at the 3 hour mark. As always, you'll never walk alone. It really should mean something. It does for me, and hopefully it does for you. And as always, again, up the Reds each and every time. Appreciate you. See you guys tomorrow. We will definitely have a great show lined up for you. But big up, and check you out tomorrow. Peace.